Packers have lost 3 in a row in their own right. And we're set to go. The Packers have yet to win on the road this year. And the Falcons and the Packers underway. Allen Rossum returning the opening kickoff and gets to about the 33-yard line. And Michael Vick, who has a tremendous winning percentage, and last week had his best yards passing, 228 yards. He won his last 10 starts indoors, including postseason. So Michael Vick is healthy and on a high. The bye week helped him as the Falcons will start first down on the 32.
I think that was the biggest thing last week against Miami. He finally felt healthy. So sometimes that bye week comes at a perfect time.
Throwing on first down, play action, and he finally gets it going, and the pass is incomplete. Brian Finneran on the short pass, but we have a penalty marker down on the first play. This is the big three-headed rushing attack for the Falcons.
Yeah, we talk about Warrick Dunn and TJ Duckett, but you can't forget about Michael Vick, and this is the one thing that the Packers can't let get rolling today, because they can really take control of a football game when they start pounding that ball in the run game.
Bernie Kukar is the referee and talking things over with Nick Barnett.
I think Michael Vick might have been across the line of scrimmage.
It was close. I don't even think they know.
They're working on it.
We have an illegal forward pass. The quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage. That's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
They come out here on the bootleg, and very rarely do you see Michael Vick not pull that ball down. There was a lot of room out there earlier, but sometimes he's got to be his own guy. There's been some criticism about him not being a pocket passer and not throwing the ball well. He wins football games, and just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let the media, don't let these people get inside your head and feel like you've got to prove something to them, because all you have to do is prove to your teammates that you're a winner, and that's what he's been throughout his career for the Falcons.
Second down and 15. Play action, and Michael Vick firing and incomplete, trying to go to his favorite receiver, tight end Algie Crumpler, and covering was Mark Roman.
Well, here's those guys who are going to try and slow down this Atlanta Falcon ground game. Grady Jackson, the big guy in the middle, but it's going to be KGB, Robert Thomas, and Mark Roman. Now that's your defensive end, your weak side linebacker, and your strong safety. Those three guys will be doing some different things to challenge the backside of the play, to work on that bootleg, to prevent cutbacks by the running backs. They feel they can be good on the play side, but this is an area we're going to keep an eye on today, is the backside of the running plays.
Jerome Pathon, number 82, is in the game as a fourth wide receiver, and Michael Vick has this ability, open field, and finally tackled after picking up 7 yards. Cullen Jenkins making the tackle. Vick last week rushed for 38 yards on 8 carries. Warrick Dunn was the chief runner with an 88-yard day and a touchdown, but fourth down coming up. Packers hold on the first, and Michael Kanan is in to kick it away.
Great pursuit by the Green Bay defense on that play, because when Michael Vick stepped up and broke out to his right, there was a lot of open field there. Good pursuit by the Green Bay defense to hem him in.
Antonio Chapman is back deep for the Packers. Fair catch called for by Chapman at the 26-yard line. Well, Tony Siragusa had a chance on the field to do a little extra homework with a familiar person.
It's going to be a lot better today too with Duckett. That's going to be my open. I'm going to mention that even you thought that Duckett is going to be a good addition.
I think so. We've been missing them. They have both of them.
Yeah, that power guy. You need that power guy in Duckett. You should really have my job. You want the headset? I'll give it to you. Really, you can. It's not hard.
Tony, what do you think?
I don't know. He was looking for my headset, but I wouldn't give it up. I couldn't let the team down there. You and Moose, I know you guys like me so much.
But he was once a president of the United States.
Very powerful man there I was standing next to.
Favre's first pass to the fullback, William Henderson, who goes down the sideline, and a great gain for the Packers on the first play of the game. 20 yards to the veteran fullback, Keon Carpenter, making the tackle. So Brett Favre, in his first Georgia Dome visit since his second year, losing record indoors, and most of those were in Minnesota and Detroit in the NFC.
This is where it all started for Brett Favre, too. down here in Atlanta.
He was traded for a #1 pick who turned out to be running back Tony Smith from the same school he attended, Southern Mississippi.
Moose, he just didn't look right in that Atlanta Falcon uniform, though. It just didn't look like him still.
First down, and Bubba Franks, who had been injured early in the year, 9-yard pickup, and the Packers, without the runners, will have to go through the air.
Well, you know, Sam Gatto is going to be your running back, but these guys have got to be able to be the playmakers today for Green Bay. This is where the continuity exists between Donald Driver, Bubba Franks. Antonio Chapman's been out there for a few weeks now, so Brett Favre has some confidence in where he's going to be on certain routes. It's going to be important for those three guys to make plays today, because I just don't know if that Green Bay running game can be something you want to hang your hat on this afternoon.
And here's the handoff to Gatto. And Gatto getting the first down. This is what the Falcons will have to defend the passing attack with.
And you see that Green Bay's got a shot. They're 27th in the NFL in defending when you talk about completion percentage. These guys are going to have a big day. Keon Carpenter had really the big play of the game last week against Miami with a big interception late in the game there. So they're up to the task, but that's the battle that we'll watch. Green Bay offense versus Atlanta defense.
And Andre Thurman, number 81, is in at wide receiver, playing the slot position. And the handoff to Samkon Gatto, fumble, and it's recovered by the Packers. So Gatto, who gained 62 yards and scored a touchdown in a huge game last week against Pittsburgh, nearly coughed that one up, gets 2 yards. And for a game break, let's check in with James Brown in Los Angeles.
All right, Dick, despite 394 yards, return yards by the Vikings at 5 turnovers, the Giants get a touchdown there by Tiki Barber with $1:21 left. Within 2, he takes it over for the 2-point conversion to tie it up. And then just seconds ago, Paul Edinger, who had missed 2 previous field goal attempts, for this 48-yard field goal attempt, he nails it. And with 10 seconds left in regulation, the Vikings are up back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, and Donald Driver on a shallow crossing pattern gets 15 yards with Jason Webster covering. So Brett Favre is in rhythm, off to a hot start, and the Packers threaten.
Well, this is, you hope this is what was going to happen. It's translating into a good start, and you saw Samkon Gatto and Brett Favre talking after that play. They brought 2 defenders to the side where Samkon was going in his protection. He did the right thing. He took the inside guy. That's what Brett Favre was doing there, patting him on the head. You were exactly right. Don't worry. I've got to get the ball out if that other guy is free. You did the right thing.
Favre is 3 for 3 for 44 yards on his opening drive, and his pass will go incomplete. And trying to get free was Donald Lee, who is a tight end who will be split. He started 10 games for the Dolphins last year, and coming in, the Packers 17th in the NFL in offense. Statistically, the Falcons are number 18, so that's a wash. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. Mike Sherman, who has kept a very solid locker room. There has not been any kind of uprising, despite the fact that the Packers are 1-4 for only the 1-7, I should say, for only the 4th time in their history. Favre's quick pass caught by Donald Driver, and Driver is tackled inside the 10, so another huge chunk of yards, another 15-yard gain, and a 1st down.
Well, this is the chemistry we mentioned at the top. Donald Driver and Brett Favre have been playing for a while, so he knows where he's going to be. He knows how he's going to run that slant route with those types of coverages. That's why it's important for the guys who have been together with Brett Favre, like Bubba Franks and Donald Driver, to make some plays early, get off to a good start, because this Atlanta team, their thing is to rely on that ground game, and if you can get ahead of them and force them out of that comfort zone, your chances are much better.
They're the red zone offensive-defensive comparisons. It'll be 1st down and goal at the 9-yard line. Here is Gatto getting an opening, and he'll score easily. So Samkon Gatto, who came over from Nigeria when he was a 9-year-old soccer player, and there are his fans who have come down from Columbia, South Carolina. It is a great story, and may want to become a doctor in the ministry. And all of a sudden, with injuries to the top running backs, here he is.
Well, he needs to concentrate on football right now, and he's done a great job. And let me tell you, we had an opportunity to talk to him yesterday. Very refreshing to meet somebody as excited about an opportunity as Samkon Gatto is.
Ryan Longwell with the extra point, and the Packers have quieted this capacity crowd as Samkon Gatto going over for the touchdown.
Moose, you talk about Gatto. This is a guy who's only been on the team 3 weeks, and it's not easy to go and learn the plays, but the protections is where it really gets difficult. And this guy so far has done a really good job and impressed me down here.
Yeah, he really has. And you hear about rookies that, we saw it with Cedric Benson. He missed a lot of training camp this year. The first concern is how are they going to be on third down? Will they understand the protections and the complex defensive schemes that defensive coordinators and defenses run on Sundays? And Samkon Gatto has done a tremendous job. And he talked about maybe being just a first and second down back. He did a good job for Brett in protection on that drive. Edgar Bennett, the running back coach right there, he absolutely is invigorated by this young man because all he wants to do is learn, and he gets a chance to teach, watch film, and tell him the subtleties about playing the running back position.
And the fellow in the white collar talking was his high school coach.
His head coach was Marty Simpson. I got a chance to talk to him also, and he said Gatto, he was a backup in high school, in college, and obviously now in the pros, and every time he had an opportunity, he made the best of it, and hopefully he'll make the best of it in his career here in the NFL.
Allen Rawson back deep, and Ryan Longwell will be kicking off. So a stunning early drive by the Packers, leading 7-0. Rawson returning, and a great tackle is made just short of the 15-yard line by Brady Papinga. As we take a look at the early games, JB showed you Edinger's winning field goal as the Vikings stunned the Giants. The Bears continue to win. They win 17-9, and the Detroit Lions over Arizona. New England over Miami. Buffalo over Kansas City. Jacksonville romping over Baltimore, and the Indianapolis Colts remain undefeated, beating the Houston Texans easily today. First down on the 15-yard line. Warwick Dunn with his first carry gets 2 yards on the play.
You go back to that first series, Atlanta with a 3-and-out, but they came out. They threw the ball on every pass play. They had the illegal forward pass when Michael Vick crossed the line of scrimmage and backed them up a little bit. But that's not what the Falcons are about. The Falcons are about running the football, playing fast, aggressive defense. You got to stay with what brought you to the dance, because the Green Bay Packers are 1-7. But guess what? When you watch them on film, I can't figure out how they are at 1-7.
Screen pass was fumbled by Warwick Dunn and recovered by Mark Roman. And we want to welcome the audience that watched the Giant Viking game, and the Packers have the early momentum in a big way.
Hustle play by Kabir Baja Biamila. Watch him right there. The screen is out. He's hustling downfield. There's the ball knocked free right into the hands of Mark Roman. So we've got a big turnover by the Packers. They had a great opening drive. Right there, the Atlanta Falcons just huddled on the sideline. And this is something that they like to do. When they are in a situation where there's a sudden change, or all of a sudden they feel a change in momentum, they want to get their defense over to the sideline, get them focused, get them out onto the field, knowing exactly what they need to do in this drive. And they huddled right there. They've got to slow this Packer offense down.
First down on the 21-yard line. And here is Gatto, who scored the 9-yard touchdown to give the Packers the lead. On their first possession of the game, Brett Favre went 4 for 5 for 60 yards, coming back to go against the team he was originally drafted by. So Brett Favre, who has not had a losing season, is a member of the Green Bay Packers, and that is obviously in jeopardy. But you can see his rating by quarter this season started very hot, and then it's cooled off by the fourth quarter.
Now that's a very surprising statistic right there. You wouldn't expect to see Brett Favre declining as the game wore on.
2nd and 7, and Gatto gets another opening. Gatto charging toward the goal line is stopped at the 1-yard line. Samkon Gatto, who was activated off the practice squad, had been with Kansas City, picks up 17 yards. He scored 1 touchdown and nearly has scored another.
Well, here's that Packer power game. You got Scott Wells. You've got Donald Lee leading up into the hole. There's really nobody downfield for Samkon Gatto until he's about 8 yards into the secondary.
That offensive line is making some beautiful holes for him. You should probably buy him a present or something after this game.
They have a new left guard today in Scott Wells, and a rookie at right guard in Will Whitaker. Gatto 5 carries for 34 yards, and here is the handoff to Gatto. No signal yet by the officials.
A lot of signals by the Packers.
Touchdown.
He was in. Yeah, he was definitely in. What a great second effort standing right here. He gets nailed, held up. He keeps his legs moving, carries himself right into the end zone. Unbelievable job by Gatto.
What a call. A shuffle pass to Gatto, and the Packers with 2 quick touchdowns, and we're just about halfway through this opening quarter.
You expect great things with Brett Favre, but the way this season has gone, they've kept this locker room together, and you watch him on film, there is some uncertainty at times with the skill positions, but to start this way against Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's one of the talked about teams in the NFC. This has been so impressive. This crowd is stunned right now.
Ryan Longwell with the extra point, and the Packers lead 14-0. And you only have a solid locker room where people are not pointing fingers to have a start like this against a tough team.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40.
Tony Siragusa talked about the extra effort by Sam Gatto at the goal line. Watch this. Here comes Scott Wells, 63. There's the kick out. He goes in. Ike Reese, a big hit right there. Now, he is 2 yards short of the goal line. There's Michael Boldy getting on top of him right there. He never, ever gives up on the play. They stuffed him 2 yards short. That was all Sam Gatto for those last 2 yards.
So Gatto with his second touchdown today. And this is a club that has lost Amon Green, Najee Davenport, and Tony Fisher. Rashard Lee started yesterday or last week. So this is the 5th back, and Allen Rossum on the return brings it out past the 35-yard line. Well, Michael Vick and the Falcons offense coming up. 14-0 Green Bay, and that was a pass from Brett Favre on the shuffle pass to Gatto, who has scored a touchdown rushing and once as a receiver. First down on the 35 for the Falcons, who have to be shell-shocked right now, trailing 14-0. Warwick Dunn, and not much there. Tackle made by Ahmad Carroll, who grew up in Georgia, great high school track star in Atlanta.
And that's what it's going to take against this Falcons running game. You've got to get everybody to the ball. And when you talk about a guy like Michael Vick, who has the ability to come out on the naked, on the backside, you're defending the entire 53 1/3 yards of the field. It's not like when the play goes front side and you can start to pursue. You've got to defend the entire line of scrimmage.
2nd and 9. And this time Warwick Dunn goes in motion. Empty backfield, and the pass thrown to Algie Crumpler. He'll get the first down. Vic loves Algie Crumpler, and a first down for the Falcons, picking up 11 yards. Some of the early game headliners. How about Nathan Vasher, longest play in NFL history, ran 108 yards on the missed field goal return for a touchdown as the Bears won. Roy Williams in a breakout game, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards for the Lions, who needed a win badly. And former Packer Darren Sharper picked off 3, including a touchdown return. First down to Dunn. Dunn brings it out to midfield. Gain of 3 yards on the play. The Atlanta Falcons, since Jim Mora has become head coach at the start of last year, 11 out of 13 here at the Georgia Dome. One of those losses this year to New England.
He's done a great job coming in only his 2nd year here, getting this franchise turned around, headed in the right direction, really built it from the ground up. You talk to these players, everybody's very excited, and they've got an opportunity to put together back-to-back winning seasons, which is a shock to me that they haven't had that.
They go back to Dunn, and this time Colin Cole makes the tackle, a 3-yard pickup. So you could see down 14-0. It seems as if the Falcons, so let's go back to basics, let's run the ball, and let's not get too excited here because it's still early in the game.
No, and Jim Mora and Greg Knapp right there, the offensive coordinator, they're going to be able to keep this team focused and not panicked. And you know, you have to remember that Green Bay is still 1-7, and they've gotten off to a great start. But when you're in that situation, you wonder, you know, how do you win these games? It's like you forgot how to win a football game.
3rd and 4. Fake inside handoff, and the pass, and a completion to Brian Finneran, coming off a career game with 8 receptions against the Dolphins, 11 yards. So after not allowing a third down conversion against Pittsburgh, well, the Falcons get one against the Pack here.
And when you talk about this Atlanta passing game, the guys you really have to worry about, Brian Finneran and L.G. Crumpler, because they've built some chemistry with Michael Vick. They've been together for 5 years. They know those little subtleties. They have the chemistry that we talked about with Brett Favre that he's trying to establish with all his new guys.
You can see last week a season high for catches by wide receivers, with Finneran getting 8 of them. And now on first down, Vick, always a danger to run, but it loses his footing and slips it to 32 after picking up 4. And right now Vick has to be tossed away by one of the officials.
I think he's just frustrated with himself right there. He had somebody squared up, and what he likes to do when he gets out, he likes to eliminate angles. He creates angles running the ball. A lot of times you hear about a defender, taking the right angle to get a guy tackled, but Michael Vick will try and do that. Right there, he got squared up, but he lost his footing. I think he was more frustrated with himself than angry at somebody on the Packers.
2nd and 6 for the Falcons on the Packer 32. And a flag. The play is blown dead. It'll be a false start penalty, 5 yards against Atlanta.
Ball start, 76 offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
You watch at the end of the play, and you get the defender squared up, and sometimes even this turf can't hold some of the cuts that Michael Vick makes, and he's a little bit upset there with Colin Cole, but that's part of the game. One of the things he's going to have to understand. And Jim Morris says he doesn't mind getting hit, but he took offense to that one right there. I thought he was frustrated. It looks like he was a little bit upset with Colin Cole.
Kevin Schaefer called for the false start, and Warwick Dunn is stopped by Cullen Jenkins. A good play by Jenkins. 1-yard pickup, but for a game break, here's James Brown.
Hey, Dick, after a Mark Brunell pick, Sims and company capitalize as Mike Allstott goes airborne from 2 yards out to put the Buccaneers on top of the Skins, 7-0, but the Skins are threatening. Back to Dick Stockton and Darryl Johnston.
All right, JB, and of course the story in the NFC South, Tampa Bay, after a big early start, find themselves in 3rd place. Want to get back in the hunt with Atlanta and Carolina.
Nice vertical by Mike Allstott. That was impressive for the big man.
3rd down and 10. Here's the pressure on Vick. Toward the sidelines, and Vick gets hit before he can unleash the pass. Looked like he was squaring to throw the ball, and it was hit by Al Harris, the great cornerback for the Packers. Good pressure by the linebacker Nick Barnett, who's had a big year, a loss of 2 yards, a sack for Green Bay in the process.
Well, this is twice now that Michael Vick has been out on the perimeter, and he's looking to throw the ball. You wonder. I mean, he took such offense to what writers and people in the media have been saying about him throwing the football. He wants to be known as a quarterback, but I think he's made 2 decisions so far that may be in effect because of what people have written about him. He stood up last week after the Miami game and says, I don't want to hear this thing about a pocket passer anymore.
He has to learn also, Moose, when he gets to that sideline, he has to get out of bounds or he's going to take hits that he shouldn't be taking.
Well, no one asked Vick whether he likes taking hits. That's what Jim Morris said. Fair catch called for, and Brett Favre and the Packers offense will take the field again when we return. Back here at the Georgia Dome, Green Bay Packers, first team in history to be 1-7, yet outscore their opponents on the first play. And Gatto, who has scored 2 touchdowns, is picking up only 1 that time, with Michael Boley, the rookie from Southern Mississippi, making the tackle. Well, the last time the Packers were here in Atlanta, it was Brett Favre's first career road start and his 2nd career start and all that. Falcons' first season here in the Georgia Dome. Chris Miller was the starting quarterback for the Falcons, and my partners, Moose and Goose, were mere pups. Moose in his 4th year, the Gooser in his 3rd.
It's a long time ago, huh, Tony?
A long time ago. I was a little puppy.
You guys probably don't even remember. 2nd and 9 from the 10-yard line. Donald Driver in motion, but Gatto gets the call again. And Gatto, who already has had a very happy birthday celebration, this is his 23rd birthday today, has scored 2 touchdowns, stopped by Boley and DeMario Williams.
Running backs are another people that have to develop a feel also, and this is only his 2nd opportunity for extended playing time. He's got to stay play side right there. Look at this. You got your fullback right there. You really have nobody in the hole. He's trying to get out the back door, and there's a guy waiting for him right there. Keep pressing the hole, press the hole, and it takes him a while to get into the flow too. This is really only his second game with extended playing time. He's not comfortable with those guys up front yet.
Rashard Lee, who fumbled in his second carry last week, in the game here, and a fake inside handoff, and Brett Favre's pass intended for Donald Driver is incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down. So the Falcons could be looking at good field position as the Packers will kick from around their goal line. 1:03 remaining in a fast-moving first quarter, and the Packers leading 14-0. B.J. Sander, who was a 3rd-round draft pick by Mike Sherman a couple of years ago, will be kicking to Allen Rawson. Rawson muffs it, and he had troubles last week against the Miami Dolphins. So Allen Rawson, who's injured early with a hamstring this season, trying to get it going. Packers defense tries for a stop right after the break. Brett Favre with a TD pass, not a picturesque one, a shuffle pass, but he'll take it. 14-0. And Michael Vick, guys, a lot of ways to defend this guy.
Well, I think the problem right now is Michael Vick. He doesn't seem like his old style. You know, he's pulling up and trying to find guys down the field. You know, when you get outside and break contain, you're the best athlete on the field. Take advantage of that.
TJ Duckett is in the game for the first time and will get the carry here and get a good opening. Good run by Duckett, who missed the last 2 games with a high ankle sprain. And do they need him? An 8-yard pickup. He's their short yardage guy. Rookie Michael Montgomery making the tackle.
You know, talking about Vic also, Moose, I'm down here watching the Green Bay Packers. Nobody's really accounting for Mike on the naked in the boot. You know, after he hands the ball off to the running back, he comes out, and I'm watching to see if the end is latched on him. I haven't seen somebody really accounting for Michael Vick.
2nd down and 2 at the 44. And Duckett with blockers. He's dangerous even without blockers, but when he's got some guys ahead of him, he really is tough. And a gain of 11 yards. Robert Thomas, the linebacker, makes the tackle, and that will be the last play of the first quarter. So the Falcons running the ball almost exclusively, but trailing the Green Bay Packers 14-0 after 1. And welcome to the Georgia Dome as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Darryl Johnston, and Tony Siragusa. The Packers leading 14-0. Their sensation from Nigeria, Samkon Gado, with a 9-yard run, and then with a shuffle pass going over from 1 yard out as the Pack scored in their first 2 possessions. TJ Duckett is the running back. First down on the 33 of the Packers. And on an end around to Roddy White, the rookie. And Al Harris chases him around. So Harris would not let Roddy White turn the corner in a gain of 1.
Well, let's look at the challenge for the running game. When you have the bootleg, what the Packers are going to do, they're going to squeeze it right here with their defensive end. He's going to come down. They're going to try and get their linebacker to run through. Here's your linebacker running through, safety up the field. They're going to mix up those 3 guys on the backside for the boot. And Tony, what are they doing front side?
Front side defensively, you're going to have to keep your shoulders square right there. You have to go down the line of scrimmage. You can't go and let there be a lane where you can cut back into.
2nd and 8. Vick dancing in the pocket and then flips it out to TJ Duckett. And Duckett close to the first down and may have it. Niall Diggs, who has missed the last 6 games with a sprained MCL, not starting today. Paris Lennon did, but they need Diggs in there, and a gain of 8 yards, and it'll be a first down for the Falcons.
You talk about being in a rock and a hard place. Niall Diggs right there. He's got Michael Vick moving at him with the ball in his hand, and he's got TJ Duckett slipping out into the flat. That's kind of pick your poison. He played it as well as you could. He forced Vick to throw the ball and was dropping off to pick up TJ Duckett and held him to a short gain.
Warwick Dunn gets back into action, and a timeout is called with Duckett out of there, and a flag is down. So let's see if they call timeout quick enough.
12 men in a huddle on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Vick saw it, tried to call a timeout, but the officials caught the 12 men foul first.
All right, got to try and figure out how to sneak that 12th guy off the field. You can call the timeout, but then you got to keep the official from taking a look at that.
So no timeout is called, and the penalty, 5 yards, will bring up first down and 15 for the Falcons on the Pac-28. Packers defense has done a terrific job thus far. Michael Vick has not been able to break one, and the running game has been stopped. Here's Dunn trying to go outside. Missed. One defender missed him. Mark Roman had his first shot out of him, and Mark Dunn ends up with 6.
It's just such a challenge when you talk about this Falcon ground game. I mean, to have to go from sideline to sideline to defend. You heard Tony talk about them keeping their shoulders square, as they're on the front side. And this is his quarter that he's lived 10 yards a carry in the second quarter. So that's why TJ Duckett's out now. Let's get our man that's running for 10 a carry. But then on the backside, to have to defend the entire backside because of Michael Vick, it just puts the defense in such a difficult position. Jim Bates so far has his guys doing a heck of a job at it.
2nd and 9 at the 22-yard line, and this time Warwick Dunn, who last week was successful going off right tackle, gets stopped after picking up 2 yards by Niall Diggs, and the Packers glad to have him back. And Jim Bates' defense has done a terrific job all year. Of course, Ed Donatel is the defensive coordinator for the Falcons and was abruptly fired by Green Bay after their playoff loss a couple of years ago. And now Jim Bates has come in and really have upgraded Green Bay's defense. 3rd down and 8. Out of the shotgun. Vick flips it to Dunn. He'll get a first down and more. Touchdown. Warwick Dunn. Great ability to escape, 21 yards. This is like a street yard team, the way they play with Vick and Dunn and Duckett and all the rest. And they enjoy it, and you can see it. So the Falcons get their first touchdown.
Well, there's just so much playmaking ability on the field. They're coming on Michael Vick. They've got him pretty good. They've got the screen covered. Warwick Dunn, great patience. Watch the block by Roddy White, 84 down the field. He took Ahmad Carroll, shoved him into the end zone, and Warwick Dunn was able to just kind of tiptoe down the sideline. Great job by Roddy White on the outside.
Todd Peterson on for the extra point. Not a good snap, but the kick is good, and it's 14-7. That's Dunn's first touchdown this year as a receiver. He's got 3 as a runner. He did both here.
LJ, Greg, and I were going over some plays the other night when...
Knock, knock.
Hey, Mom.
Bet you boys haven't had dinner yet.
We just got a little something out of the machine.
Nonsense.
So, she zapped us some nice hot Campbell's Chunky New England clam chowder, now on microwavable bowls. It was quick and easy.
Why don't you try this plate?
McNabb with the ball. Touchdown, Eagles!
That's my son!
That's my plate.
Campbell's Chunky, it fills you up right.
It's over. Done. We nailed it. Real Coke taste with 0 calories. And now, before I lock up the secret formula, I'd like to share it with you. Sure.
Coca-Cola Zero. Try it to believe it.
Dad.
Hey, buddy.
Could you read me a story? Football.
That's okay. I can freeze time.
Whoa.
The DirecTV DVR. The most magical thing that ever happened to TV. Finally, an easy-to-use DVR that gives you the power to pause and rewind live TV, so you'll never miss a second of what's important to you.
Somebody up there loves you. DirecTV.
Sign up and get a DirecTV DVR free. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Brian goes back to school, and Stewie gets a free ride.
I haven't taken a shower since we got here. I totally reek, man. Check this out. Ah, come on. Tell me that's not epic.
Family Guy. All new at 9, 8 central tonight on Fox. Viewer discretion advised.
You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in HD and presented by DirecTV.
We'll go back and take a look at the block by Roddy White. And one of the things as a wide receiver, it makes it real easy. You just release. When you're in man-to-man coverage, you can just release down the field, get the cornerback to turn his back to the play, and that's what he does. Ahmad Carroll turns his back to the play and starts to run with him. But eventually, he's going to turn around and try and pick up the ball. Now watch what Roddy White does at that point. Keeps Ahmad Carroll out of the play. Here comes Warwick Dunn in for 6. Good job in the beginning to get Ahmad Carroll to turn his back to the play, but an even better job of finishing the block once he recognized Warwick Dunn is coming downfield right behind him.
Michael Kanan kicking off, and Rashard Lee Packers have used 9 different kick returners this year. He'll settle in the end zone for a touchback, and they'll take out on the 20. The hard-hitting Falcons defense will take over after this.
Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming.
You may not have the contract to build the next great suspension bridge, or the workforce to dig the next Panama Canal. And you may not be working on the next big sports complex, but your truck could. The GMC Sierra with the available Vortec Max, engineered to the highest standard. Professional grade.
Good improvement.
Thank you, doctor.
Cholesterol's down. Well done.
Great. Hello, doctor's office.
And I gotta tell you, nice job.
Mr. Decker?
I told you we'd get it down.
Yep, even doctors can have high cholesterol. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor can lower your bad cholesterol from 39 to 60%. In fact, more cardiologists surveyed said they prescribe Lipitor for their own family members than any other cholesterol brand. Lipitor is one of many cholesterol-lowering treatment options in addition to diet and exercise that you and your doctor can consider. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or who may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as these may be signs of a rare but serious side effect. Ask your doctor about Lipitor today.
Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by GMC Trucks and SUVs. We are professional grade. By AOL. Want a better internet? You belong at AOL. By SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. Get ready for the fight of your life. And by Lipitor. Ask your doctor if Lipitor is right for you.
First time Ed Donatel facing his former team after that 4th and 26 disaster in the 2004 playoffs.
Yeah, and regardless of how you feel about that entire situation, the thing that I like about Ed Donatel, he says it's his fault. I should have coached him better. I think it's the player's fault. He threw it all on his shoulders to establish accountability.
Slant, overthrown Antonio Chapman on first down.
This is back at a playoff game a couple of years ago. This is their first loss at Lambeau against the Atlanta Falcons. The first time that they've played since that. Maybe the first kink in the armor. Their Lambeau mystique.
Yeah, they lost
beautiful day, huh?
They lost a few games this year at home. It used to be automatic at Lambeau. Second down and 10 on the 20-yard line. Favre getting protection. Shallow cross, and the pass is caught by Donald Lee. And driven out of bounds, and a late hit. And you can see by Brett Favre's reaction, he'll take 16 plus 15, 31 yards before it's all over.
Seems like we talk about them dumb penalties week in and week out.
Late hit out of bounds, number 59 of the defense. We'll add 15 yards to the end of the run. First down.
Michael Boley.
Well, you know, you got to play smart, Tony. I agree. It seems like every week we're talking about one of these, and it's a fine line you walk. I mean, this is a physical game. It's a game of collisions, but you've got to play smart. And you've got a team that's 1-7, and let me tell you what, you watch Green Bay on film, they don't look like a 1-7 team, but they can't make those plays to get over the hump to win a game. And you're helping them out when you make stupid penalties like that one right there.
First down on the 49 of the Falcons. Play action. Fake to Sam Pongado, and the pass is caught by Bubba Franks. And the familiar receiver, he doesn't have many right now because of the injuries. 11 yards to the 35 for Brett Favre.
Well, that's how important the running game is for this Packer offense. You've got to have that threat there. They've been able to pound the ball on people the last couple of years. I think it's one of the big reasons they've been so productive offensively. And then all of a sudden you got Brett Favre coming out on a bootleg, and Bubba Franks is coming across the field. Without that strong running game, you lose all those play-action passes out of your offense.
First down for the Packers on the Falcon 35. By and large, they've kept the crowd out of this game. And the pass tipped and intercepted. And it's DeMario Williams. Williams with the interception on the tip ball. And Brett Favre, who came into the game leading the NFL with most interceptions, tosses up number 15.
Well, it's a screen pass. They're trying to set it up. There goes the offensive line. Brett's trying to fit it into a crossing receiver. Gets deflected and picked off.
She's absolutely perfect.
And the best part, in each hand, she has a cold Bud Light. Good day, gentlemen.
What a waste of 2 Bud Lights.
Bud Light. Great taste, great times.
The Venus de Milo!
Each engineering innovation we make helps you overcome another challenge on the road. The GMC Envoy and Envoy XL with StabiliTrak, standard. We can't be certain how you'll use our SUVs, so we engineer them all to the highest standard. Professional grade.
Lord Vader, rise.
Star Wars is reborn at BK in the form of 6 collectible hologram watches. Only $1.99 each when you buy any value meal. Star Wars Episode 3, own it on DVD now.
Unstoppable. Like a Waltrip is, so is his Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable. Just like the people who wear it. Citizen Echo Drive watches. Unstoppable.
When a steroid scandal erupts,
I do straight blood doping.
it's daring confession. Something more dangerous is uncovered.
We gotta talk.
What are you doing?
You'll be fine. Sort of.
And House's obsession with his ex comes to a head.
Do you hate me or do you love me?
House, all new at 9/8 Central, Fox Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
And DeMario Williams with the interception, and of course some shifting in the linebacking core by the Falcons after the middle linebacker Ed Hartwell went down. Keith Brooking moved to the middle, and so Brett Favre knows to keep his team in the game, can't afford those mistakes.
No, you cannot, but I tell you, it was a heck of a play by DeMario Williams. Very athletic.
Falcons on their 38-yard line, first down. Here's Warwick Dunn trying to go outside, and the Packers are there. A minimal gain of 3 yards with Ahmad Carroll, the cornerback, on the stop.
We'll go back and take a look at this play. Now, here's your receiver right here. That's DeMario Williams right there. The receiver is going to come clean. He's going to have open field. Watch the play that DeMario Williams makes. He gets into the middle there, deflects it, and then intercepts it. That's a great play. Donald Driver is coming out the backside, and there's not going to be anybody there. That's going to be a touchdown if not for DeMario Williams' play.
Second down and 7 on the 41. Vick in the pocket, and Vick going deep. And nearly making the play is Roddy White, covered well by Ahmad Carroll, and a flag goes down.
I need to see the end of this.
What a great spiral thrown by Michael Vick, and he's got an incredible arm.
He's a great deep ball thrower.
Pass interference, 28 defense, automatic, first down.
Well, let's see if he gets his head around. Right now, that looks like the one reason that you would get it. Well, yeah. He doesn't get his head around. He gets a hand on him and pulls Roddy White back. At game speed, I didn't agree with that call, but it's pretty obvious right there. He gets that hand on the shoulder, kind of slows him down, interrupts that route. So Ahmad Carroll, he went and lobbied his point, but that's a good call by the officials.
Mixed emotions on that one, Moose. Giving up a touchdown or taking that pass interference, I don't know.
43-yard play on the penalty, and here's Dunn. Dunn breaking a tackle, and Warwick Dunn getting down to the 1-yard line. Warwick Dunn, who's been a workhorse with T.J. Duckett's sideline, has carried the ball 20 or more times, 3 straight games. They don't want to wear him out. Picks up 15 there.
Watch his feet, though. Warwick Dunn's feet never stop moving. Here you go. Jump cut out the back door, moving forward. Going to this way again. Now I'm coming all the way back to this side. Warwick Dunn's feet never stop moving unless you grab a hold of both of them.
Mark Roman saved the touchdown. T.J. Duckett has come in the short yardage back, first and goal at the 1. And they go to Duck. No, it's a fake. And on the bootleg, Michael Vick, does he get over? Touchdown, he does. Brady Papinga chasing him, but Michael Vick went over the pylon and scores the touchdown for the Falcons. A great fake, and everyone went for Duckett.
Well, that's what happens. Watch all the Packers go to T.J. Duckett. Look at him all right there. Michael Vick holds it, hesitates for a second. Brady Papinga, for a second there, I thought he was going to beat Michael Vick to the corner. What a great hustle play by 51. Look at the hesitation.
That's a great fake by Vick, man. That just stops you as a defensive lineman or as a defender in general.
And look how he just got his left hand out there, crossing the plane for the score. Todd Peterson with the extra point and ties the game. So the Falcons were trailing 14-0 early. They have come back to tie it up on Michael Vick's 1-yard touchdown run.
Recently, I went to my GM dealership for an oil change. Mr. Goodwrench noticed my tires were really worn. I had them replaced, and that same night, I got caught in a sudden storm. The road was like an ice rink. A car spun out in front of me, but I was able to maintain control. Thanks, Mr. Goodwrench.
No problem. It's what we do.
GM Goodwrench, because who knows what's down the road.
Charlie just came into some money.
That was just blind luck.
You look like the cat that swallowed the canary.
Now, all he wants for Christmas
That guy you thought might be looking for you, he is
to live to see New Year's.
Maybe we should leave now. In case you haven't noticed, there's a hockey rink out there.
From the director of Caddyshack and Groundhog Day,
You ever notice how weird people get this time of year?
John Cusack, Billy Bob Thornton, The Ice Harvest.
sure nothing's going on.
Not a thing.
Rated R. Starts Wednesday, November 23rd at theaters everywhere.
Taco Bell's new Chipotle grilled stuffed burrito.
So what's it like? It's a little bit smoky and spicy and flavor. I gotta try one of those.
The new Chipotle grilled stuffed burrito. Loaded with carne asada steak, Chipotle seasoned rice, spicy Southwest Chipotle sauce, and a blend of 3 melted cheeses. All wrapped up and grilled to go. For the perfect balance of flavor and spice, think outside the bun.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by GM Goodwrench. You can find Mr. Goodwrench at all GM dealers nationwide.
And the Falcons have come back from a 14-0 deficit to tie the game. 9:28 remaining in the second quarter. And when Michael Vick rushes for a touchdown, 11-1-1 is the Falcons' record. That was his 10th touchdown of the year. He has thrown for 6 and run for 4. And both of the touchdowns were less than 3 minutes apart.
That's what Atlanta does to you with Warrick Dunn and Michael Vick and T.J. Duck. I mean, they're explosive.
They drive you crazy.
Oh, you pick your poison with these guys.
Rashard Lee, and the kick is deep, 5 yards in the end zone, down for the touchback. So we'll see how Brett Favre answers 2 touchdowns by the Falcons. Jim Mora's team.
$18.55. Fred Miller brews his best beer yet. It has everything except a name. Then it hits him. Fred Miller's beer. Good call, Fred. Pick up some 1855 lager, our tribute to Fred's first beer.
Everyone's talking about the season's breakout hit.
Come on, we're getting out of here.
See what all the buzz is about.
We'll have 18 minutes to get over the wall.
Prison Break, a special encore followed by an all-new episode tomorrow on Fox. Viewer discretion advised.
Fox Tuesday, a gruesome discovery.
A first modern mummy.
Puts Booth and Bones in the middle.
Roy Taylor was murdered. Maybe he had it coming to him.
Of a deadly drug war.
How easily do you think I scare?
Bones, all new at 8/7 Central, Fox Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
Brett Favre has had all kinds of problems, including family problems. His wife, Deanna, been battling breast cancer, and the prognosis is very good, and she's in the audience this afternoon.
You know, when we talked to him yesterday, he wasn't concerned about her being at the game. He was concerned of her being at the mall with his credit cards there, Dick.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Sam Congato on the fake, and the pass is thrown behind Donald Driver, incomplete.
Get a few of those every once in a while. They just look out of sync. And Donald Driver and Brett Favre should not be out of sync. And both of them are looking back at each other trying to figure out how that one happened.
Donald Driver coming in as the leading receiver and on pace for his third 1,000-yard season in the last 4 years. And with Javon Walker, who busted up his knee in week 1 out of there. Team really thin in the skill positions. Here's Gatto, nothing doing. And Gatto will lose yards thanks to Michael Boley, the rookie linebacker. DeMario Williams on the other side, a loss of 1.
Brett Favre going back to pass right here. This is on that screenplay earlier on the interception. Donald Driver late getting his head around. And again, you wonder, you know, these guys shouldn't be out of sync, but is Donald Driver expecting Brett to not throw that ball till he clears the middle? Is Brett expecting him to get it off right away because he sees the big play? He doesn't want to go to the screen. He wants to go for the big play, and Donald doesn't have his head around to pick up the flight of the ball yet. But let's not forget DeMario Williams made a heck of a play.
Brett Favre calls a timeout on 3rd and 11, and that's exactly where Ed Donatel wants to set the Packers with 8:40 remaining in the first half. Both teams have capitalized on turnovers in a tie game. We'll be back.
Better health. Sometimes it's in the genes, but as often as not, it's connected to the quality of the information you have at hand. And that's what makes WebMD America's most trusted health information source. It's a place where people find information they could never get their hands on before, where doctors discover new and better ways to care for their patients. A place where everyone can make the connection between better information and better health. WebMD.
Back here in Atlanta, tied at 14. Crowd in full throat. See what Ed Donatel has dialed up for the Falcons defense. 3rd down and 11 from the 19. Rashard Lee is the 3rd down back. Flags are down all over the place.
Right guard.
Or tackle. Take your choice.
One of them.
Ball start. 79 offense.
And that's Will Whitaker,
Penalty, still 3rd
who
down.
has to go against Rod Coleman, one of the better defensive tackles, and should be headed for the Pro Bowl this year. That's a tough assignment for the rookie from Michigan State today.
Yeah, and then to bring Scott Wells in on the other side to be starting, and there's Rod Coleman right there. I mean, he is a force inside. Very good pass rusher from the defensive tackle position.
Oh, sacks by a defensive tackle this year. He's got 7. So now it's 3rd and 16. And the shuffle pass to Rashard Lee. And Lee will get stuffed at the 19-yard line, bringing up 4th down. So he only gets 6 on the play. And Keith Brooking, who moved to the middle, still adjusting to middle linebacking position on the tackle. And Williams also getting kudos from Jim Mora.
Well, when you've got the injuries that Green Bay has, your margin for error really shrinks down. And one of those things right there, just a little pre-snap penalty like that. 3rd and 11, tough one to do. 3rd and 16, good luck. Here we go again. They did this last week against Pittsburgh. They get down into the red zone. It's 3rd and 2.
Ball start. 51 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
That's Papinga.
They get down inside. It's 3rd and 2. They have back-to-back penalties. Puts them into a 3rd and 12. The next play, it's a fumble that's picked up and returned for a touchdown. They cannot make these types of mistakes. And I know they're only 5-yard penalties, but with the injuries, they can't afford them right now.
B.J. Sander punting from the 1-yard line. Allen Rossum on his own 40 and turns around and meets a former teammate. And Patrick Denby making the tackle after a 46-yard punt. So under 8 minutes remaining here in the second quarter, tied at 14. Here's who's winning the battle in the rushing and passing thus far. The Atlanta Falcons with 69 yards rushing. Dunn has 35 of them.
Started off, it was all Green Bay. With a little help from Atlanta, they generate the turnover, jump up 14-0. But boom, right away, here comes Atlanta right back. Kind of the same thing. They get a nice drive to start off, and then Green Bay returns the favor, giving them a turnover that leads to 7 more points in a tie game.
Darryl, once again, the Falcons have good field position, starting on their 43. Michael Vick stepping up, and then middle screen to T.J. Duckett. Not easy. He doesn't need any blockers in front of him. He'll carry defenders. 19 yards. Nick Barnett finally brings him down.
Well, you're trying to get the ball downfield to Algie Crumpler, and then to have the ability to just dump it down to a guy like T.J. Duckett. So you've got guys that are 8-10 yards downfield in coverage. And when a guy like that gets a head of steam going, boy, he's going to be tough to bring down, getting open in that secondary.
The defensive backs do not want to see him in the backfield there.
First down on the 38-yard line. Here's Duckett. And Duckett will be stopped at the 35-yard line. And let's quickly check in with James Brown for a game break.
Hey, Dick, after Mark Brunell's third turnover led to a score by Tampa Bay and an 11-point lead on this kickoff return, Skins answered back. Ladell Betts tightrope walking along the left sideline. Play was challenged. He did not step out of bounds. That was a long-winded 94-yard kickoff return for the score. It is now 14-10. Tampa Bay back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, and of course a win by the Redskins would move them into a tie for first place with the Giants. And the Cowboys play Philadelphia tomorrow, and it's possible it could be a three-way tie, as the shaken-up player is the fullback Justin Griffith, but he comes off on his own power.
He might still be shaking some cobwebs out from last week's game against Miami. He took 3 vicious hits, so you wonder if he's all the way back from that physical game he played last Sunday.
Second down and 7.
Having some flashbacks, Moose, at that position, huh?
Oh.
You remember them days.
Yeah, there's sometimes you go on the field on Sunday after a game from the week before, and the head's a little soft at times.
Who we playing?
Play action. Fake to Duckett. Here's Vick. And down he goes. A big loss back to the 45-yard line. And Aaron Campman chased him down. A loss of 9 yards on the play.
I don't know. And here's number 3 today. Mike Vick on a bootleg out to the right. You get used to seeing him make these plays. And this is the third time that he's really hanging in there to throw the ball. Usually it's just a quick spin, he's out, he breaks contain, and he's down the sideline. But we've seen him try and pull up and throw a couple times when he's been out on the perimeter. This time he's looking, everything breaks down around him. I don't know, very uncharacteristic. He looks indecisive out there at times when he's on the boot.
So now third down and long, 3rd and 16. Vick again being chased, completes it to Crumpler, and he gets a couple of extra yards. Does not get out of bounds, but stopped at the 37-yard line, picking up 7 yards. It was Al Harris, who's played pretty active game at cornerback for Green Bay thus far today.
Yeah, well, he was the first guy trying to get him down. We talked about T.J. Duckett getting loose in the secondary. Algie Crumpler's about the same, and I mean, Al Harris has got him lined up in his sights, and he could just kind of bounce right off him.
So a good stop by the Packers defense, and Michael Kanan will be kicking Antonio Chapman back at the 10-yard line. And Chapman with the fair catch inside the 10-yard line.
Well, we had an opportunity on Saturday to go over to the Atlanta Aquarium here, which is going to open up a week from tomorrow. And the only 2 whale sharks in captivity in the Western world, they're over in Japan, they're in Thailand, but they're not over here. And our thanks to Jeffrey Swanigan, the executive director, Dave Santucci, the director of PR, that took us around, gave us a behind-the-scenes look. But I tell you, anybody that's down this way, you must be counting the days till that place opens. It is fabulous.
They got some really cool fish over there, man.
First down at the 8-yard line. Gatto with the carry. Is it true that you can just touch a window when a fish is going by and all the information comes on the window about the fish?
Yeah, some people, it looks so good on the screen. It's actually a digital picture of the fish. It looks so good that if you don't look twice, or if you're getting a little bit older, sometimes, you think it's a real fish. You touch it, stuff pops up, and you can get very confused, but it gives you a lot of information on those boards. They got some really cool stuff over there.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people, Tony, get confused and think it's a real fish going by. Second down and 8. On the 10-yard line. Can Brett Favre bring the Packers out of trouble deep in their own
zone? It's a free play.
It's a free play, and Donald Driver downfield.
He's not going to check it down on a freebie.
He's going downtown. That's you can see the experience level, and you see a young guy doing it compared to a guy like Brett Favre who's been in the league a long time.
Offside, 94 defense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Chad Lavallee, so a driver was covered by D'Angelo Hall downfield, picking up 5 here.
I don't know, Tony. The way my offensive line's been jumping around the last few weeks, I don't know if I've got the confidence that it's not on one of my guys, and one of my guys didn't flinch.
Listen, every other quarterback in the league would think about that, but not Brett. He doesn't care. He's going to go with the hard count. You're going to jump, but he ain't going to stop his game for waiting for somebody else to catch up.
Second down and 3 now at the 15-yard line. And they go to Gatto on the running play, and Gatto's going to be knocked back. So good penetration by the Falcons defense, led by Brian Scott, the free safety. Gatto will lose a yard. He has scored 2 touchdowns today, a 9-yard run to give the Packers a 7-0 lead, and then on the receiving end of a shuffle pass from Brett Favre for a yard out. He goes out of the game here, 3rd and 4.
I think Gatto got a little spoiled early in the game. He had some big gaping holes, scored 2 touchdowns. He's got to understand that when you get the ball, sometimes as a back, you're going to have to make your own holes in that line of scrimmage.
You thought it was easy?
He thought it was easy. It isn't, though.
Or easier, 3rd down and 4. And here's Favre in the pocket, completes the pass to Bubba Franks. First down, Packers at the 21.
And the Packers have got to do something to get some of this momentum back. They got off to such a great start, which is critical for them. They've really struggled in football games getting off to a good start. They had that opportunity today, and all of a sudden it's 14-14. They allow Atlanta to get right back in. And when you're a team that's at 1-7, a lot of negative thoughts creep into your head, and I'm sure some of these guys are going back to Minnesota when they jumped out 17-0 against the Vikings and eventually ended up losing that game.
That was a huge game because it came after a bye and after their only win of the year against the Saints. First down, and here is Gatto. Good run by Samkon Gatto, and a first down, moving the chains out to the 32. 11 yards, Scott on the tackle.
William Whitaker is your puller right here. He's going to be the guy that gets out front, gets a good block. There's William Henderson, the fullback, number 33. Good job getting around the outside, comes back in, reseals the play. Samkon Gatto is good at hitting the ball downhill. The runs that we've seen him have, he's made a decision, he's been decisive, he's squared his shoulders, and he's gotten downfield. He's hesitant when he's looking for the cutbacks and trying to create when it's not there.
Averaging 4.5 yards per carry and falling down after the reception is Gatto. Jason Webster was right there. And you were talking about the Packers and their 1-7 record, and you wonder how a team at 1-7 can outscore its opponents. Well, they have 5 single-digit losses, but they romped over the Saints 52-3, and you're right. It was their next game against the Vikings, 17-0 lead. It looked like the Packers were going to make a run, and then they lose a heartbreaker, 23-20, and they're trying to stem a 3-game losing tide.
And that's, Patrick Kearney talked to us, he said you always have to expect that game like Brett Favre had against the Saints.
And open as Gatto makes a terrific catch and is down at the 41-yard line. 10-yard pickup, and the 2-minute warning coming up with 1:54 on the clock as the Packers got out of danger. Let's see how far they go.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the new Sprint, the official telecommunications service sponsor of the NFL.
While serving up chops and pounds of bologna, I get my NFL stats on my cellular phony.
The ends are in motion, the offense is shifting. I've been here so long, they think I'm shoplifting.
My wife can't believe I went to the store, but with NFL on Sprint, I won't miss a score.
Like a 3-wheeled grocery cart.
or a receiverless throw.
An aisle 9 without football?
Is not one I like to know.
Exclusive NFL programs, only from the new Sprint.
Rated teen.
I got this far. I can do it. Unstoppable. Sasha Cohen is. So is her Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. It's unstoppable. Just like the people who wear it. Citizen Echo Drive watches. Unstoppable.
We've been talking a lot about Sam Kangado, the 23-year-old Nigerian who has scored 2 touchdowns. And, of course, he says he'd like to know the person who allowed him to come to this country, that made a gift. He said they never identified themselves, and he'd love to find out who that person is.
No, they haven't. His father came over, but his mom, himself, and the rest of his family were not able to afford it. They didn't have the money to get over. A private donation was made to their church to allow them to come over, but he's never had an opportunity to meet them and thank them. He has an idea of where they are. He hopes they've been following his career, but unfortunately, he hasn't had a chance to meet them.
3rd and 2 pass to Donald Lee is good for a first down and a 9-yard pickup to midfield.
It'd be pretty cool to find out who helped your family come over to this country and give you a chance here in the United States, huh, Moose?
And the slant to Donald Driver and another first down. This is Brett Favre in rhythm, and we've seen him today when he wasn't. He gets 11 yards with Rossum on the tackle, and a timeout called with 1:26 to go. High score.
The look of love is in your eyes. The look your heart can't disguise.
Everyone wants the fresh toasted chicken and bacon ranch for dinner. Real bacon and tender chicken. Only at Subway restaurants.
Oh, come on.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. Packers looking to take the lead before intermission. First down on the Falcon 39. Favre drills it, and open is Andre Thurman. And Thurman is out of bounds, stopping the clock. Gets to the 24-yard line, a gain of 15 with Webster on the coverage. Thurman activated from the practice squad late last year to replace an injured Robert Ferguson. Had played 2 regular season games in the Packer playoff game in his second year from Southern Oregon. You got to go deep into your receiving core.
They got to go deep into every skill position out here, and that's one of the reasons we've seen them be inconsistent this afternoon.
Favre is 6 for 6 on this impressive drive. First down from the 23. Favre's pass caught by Driver, and down he goes at the 17. Jonathan Babineau, who started once again at defensive end for Brady Smith, still bothered by the dislocated toe.
You saw right there, he had to grab Donald Lee, get him going the right direction. A lot of things that Brett's worrying about pre-snap.
2nd and 4, in trouble is Favre. He gets away, and Favre will go down. Big loss, and an untimely loss back to the 29-yard line. Ron Coleman, who has had a brilliant year, knocks back Favre for a loss of 12 yards.
You know, it's one thing when you have a good pass rusher that's an end, but when you have a guy that can line up and tackle and rush like Rod Coleman can, that's a force, because it's right in the quarterback's face, and that's the first thing he sees.
Yeah, he's the guy that all started. It was Jonathan Babineau and Patrick Kearney that mopped him up.
On the offense, they were not set for 1 second. That penalty is declined.
You heard a legal shift from Bernie Kukar. Declined, of course, as you can see Brett Favre already hit a few times in this one.
Yeah, that one, just a situation like that, you got to know what the situation is in the game. You're under a minute. You put some good plays together. You're down here with a chance for points. Even Brett Favre knows you can't afford to lose yardage in that situation.
Packers have one timeout remaining. 3rd down and 16. Back on the 29-yard line. Favre's pass. And let's see if they held on to it. Andre Thurman was it a catch and ruled no catch, I believe. Incomplete, as it looked like Thurman, when he came down, did not have possession, so they're going to bring it back, call it an incomplete pass.
Well, you don't have to challenge here. We're inside of 2 minutes, so maybe the booth's going to go take a look at this, because I thought I saw one official come in and say he did have a catch. He doesn't really have possession coming down with the ball. The question would have been, did he get that other hand underneath to prevent the ball from hitting the turf?
I think the upstairs booth should at least look at it.
That was close.
No, it's on the ground. It's on the ground. What a heck of an effort.
So it is 4th down. And Ryan Longwell has been struggling. Missed a 31-yard field goal.
Timeout, Green Bay.
And the
That's
Packers
their 3rd and final team timeout.
are going to call their 3rd and last timeout.
Well, I think Mike Sherman was hoping they were going to go take a look at it in the booth, and he waited and waited. Eventually, he had to call the timeout.
Why wouldn't they look at it?
I knew he'd come in handy someday.
I'm State Farm agent Ephraim Sanchez, and this is a true story.
I never knew that his good grades would save us money on car insurance.
I never knew he could get good grades.
He cheated.
He had a tutor. When I found out about Mark's grades, I got him a good student discount.
Dad, if you get me a car, we could get another discount.
Mark's getting a car?
That's so not fair.
More drivers get more discounts from State Farm than anybody else. See what a State Farm agent could save you today.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
And we understand the replay booth, looking at the second of our replays, said no way, and so it went incomplete. And so Mike Sherman had to call the timeout, hoping that the officials would take a look.
See the ball hit right there as he rolls over the top. It makes contact with the ground.
So Ryan Longwell, who is connected on only 3 of his last 6, he has struggled. This will be a 46-yard attempt with 45 seconds remaining in the half. And Longwell's kick is good. So Ryan Longwell breathes easy, connecting on the 45-yard field goal to give the Packers a 17-14 lead.
He used to run and jump in little league like he do it in the pros, and that used to scare me. I got a weak heart, and I can't have them jumping up in the air trying to jump over 15 to 20 people.
And it goes real quick. He doesn't have to extend his arm. He can just flip the wrist and the ball will go 60 yards.
And the same stuff that he's doing in the NFL now, he did when he was in high school.
It's a deep part of his heart that he would like to still be in high school because he plays like that.
Hey, Teddy, I hate to bother you. You sent my melon to Peyton, P-E-Y.
Groceries, $41.
That's awesome, man. Charlie!
Oil change, $25.
Good too. Decaf!
Lunch,
Decaf!
$12.
Great shift today, guys. Nice salad bar.
Your favorite players,
yes,
priceless.
Yes! Yes!
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
You signed the bread to my little brother. He loves you.
Ryan Longwell's 46-yard field goal giving the Packers a 3-point lead with 40 seconds remaining. Rossum goes back, and if nothing else, the Packers are giving the Falcons all they could handle for at least the first half today.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, you watch them on film, and they're a good team. They have trouble with those game-changing plays. I mean, Mike Sherman called them fine-line plays. They haven't been able to make those types of plays that can change a game into their outcome yet.
Rossum on the return. And down he goes inside the 20. Want to remind you, coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. Scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, but not much time. There you see only 1 reception by a wide receiver, that by Finneran. Last week, the season's high of 11, which only goes to show you that each week is a different week in this league. And what happens one week does not mean you'll see it again.
Got to have it from week to week before it starts becoming a trend.
At least 2 or 3, right? Maybe 3.
Maybe I'll go with 4. I need it for a whole month.
From the 20, first down, Warwick Dunn. And he's down at the 23-yard line.
Well, I don't think that this is anything that's surprising Atlanta either. You know, we talked to them about the Packers being 1-7. Hey, we're not preparing for a 1-7 team. We've seen them on film. We know what they can do.
Down the middle, completing the pass to Jerome Pathon, and time beginning to run out, and a timeout called by the Falcons with 12 seconds remaining, and the ball at the 41-yard line of Atlanta.
You know what I wouldn't mind seeing one time is how far Michael Vick can throw a Hail Mary pass. You know, we talk about his delivery and how much velocity he can get on the ball. We've seen him, make some deep throws that are pretty effortless. I'd like to see one time if he really had to lean into one, how far he could throw the ball.
That'd be pretty far, and when you do a thing like that, you always have the advantage of a possible pass interference call, which gives you one more play. 8 out of 9 for 99 yards. His passer rating is off the charts. He's only thrown for 99 yards, so you can see it's been a short passing game for the Falcons when they have thrown. From their own 41-yard line, and time beginning to run out, here's Finneran on the slant, but he is tackled immediately by Ahmad Carroll, and another timeout called, leaving them with 1 with 7 seconds to go. That was a 7-yard gain.
It looks like they figured that his arm strength he can get it there from about the 40-yard line, somewhere around there. They throw a short little slant pass to get 7 more yards. Maybe they were trying to get to a distance that they feel that Michael Vick can get the ball into the end zone from that spot. What do you think, Tony? Can he get it there from where he's going to be at?
I can't hear you, Dal. I only got one earpiece in. What did you say?
You think that Michael Vick's going to be able to get it into the end zone from 60?
I don't know, man. It'd be a hell of a throw.
They have 3 fast receivers, Roddy White, Des White, and Jerome Pathon, all up to the right with 7 seconds to go. So here it comes.
We'll see it right here, Moose.
Nope.
Steady goes underneath to Warwick Dunn, and there is still 2 seconds left on the clock, but the Falcons get into Packer territory. They get 5 yards, so they still have another play left.
This is the longest 7 seconds I've ever seen in a game.
Man.
Without a lot of
follow the coach going into the sideline too there, but I'm running all over the field here. I'm sweating.
Tony, you got both earpieces in. That's what I
got them in now. I can hear you in stereo. It's nice. Nice. I think we might see. I don't think we're seeing an out throw on this one. He could be going for the end zone here. That's 3 to the right there.
Packers are playing it that way. Time has run out, and here comes the Hail Mary.
Oh, he's throwing it 10 yards out of the end zone.
And it went out of the end zone. He actually threw the ball out of the end zone. That would win a punt, pass, and kick competition. And a 60-yard pass to no avail. And that's the end of the first half, with Brett Favre and the Packers leaving the Falcons 17-14. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Quarter, giving the Packers lead 17-14. Is there anything, Darryl, that you have seen to give you an indication of what the second half might bring?
Well, it's going to be really, who makes the critical mistake at this point, and that's going to be important for Green Bay because they've kind of lost that ability to win these types of games. They had trouble with the fine line plays that Mike Sherman calls them, the game-changing plays. Somebody's got to step up and make one of those. The one thing that surprised me in the first half, some indecision by Michael Vick when he got out on the perimeter, whether he wants to throw the ball down the field. A lot of times you see him tuck it and make some plays. Maybe a credit to the Green Bay defense. They did a good job slowing down that Atlanta running game, and I think that was the key to the good start.
Tony, what's your observation?
Coach Sherman, I talked to him going in. He was concerned about his coverage teams, both on the punt coverage and the kickoff coverage. They want to go and pin him back. And also, when he talked about his offense, he says, we have to come out when we're backed up against the goal line. We have to be able to come out because we're giving too good a field position to the Atlanta Falcons, and they're capitalizing on it.
All right, Tony, time of possession is kind of even, but you're right. Field position and turnovers, both teams have taken advantage of turnovers for scores in this game. So Michael Kanan tees it up. Undrafted rookie from Western Washington, and Rashard Lee back deep.
And you have to give some credit to Michael Kanan, too, because his kickoffs have been unreturnable. One of the reasons the Packers have started out backed up. They got a shot on this one, though.
One of his shorter ones, 2 yards in the end zone. Lee. Big return by Lee. out to the 35-yard line. As you take a look at the halftime statistics, the Falcons actually out-rushing the Packers. Nothing unusual there. They're the #1 running team in the league. And the points off turnovers even. This game is practically even. And of course, we also have the fantasy stats. If you have Sam Congato, you're doing pretty well. For the latest in fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com.
Yeah, but how many people you think have Sam Congato on their team right now?
You have to be a genius if you have him on your team.
Well, there's some geniuses playing fantasy football, let's face it. First down, play action from the 34. Donald Driver open on the near side and knocked out of bounds close to the first down by Jason Webster.
Amazing what a little bit of field position can do. Tony talked about it with Mike Sherman coming out at halftime, and every other kickoff that Atlanta had done, they had kicked it into the end zone. Green Bay didn't even get a chance to return it. So you're starting at your 20-yard line, and all of a sudden you get a good return, and it builds positive momentum. And I think that's when Mike Sherman talks about these fine line plays, it could be something as small as that, something that grabs the momentum for your team, because at 1-7, you're waiting for something negative to happen.
That was the longest kickoff return of the season for the Packers. First down at the 44. Here's Gatto. Gatto with a little extra effort picks up nearly 5 yards on the play with DeMario Williams and Keith Brooking, the two linebackers combining.
You know, Moose, I think you made a great point. I remember when I played defense with the Ravens, when we had a team backed up defensively, you sort of get, a little bit more, excited. You want to make that big play. You have a chance for a safety. So you try to go and pin him back there and keep him back there. It's a big motivation thing for a defense.
And then you get a little spark, from Rashard Lee. He brings it out. He gets out beyond, the 30-yard line, out close to the 35. You just take the field upbeat. There's a little bit of momentum. There's a little bit of pep in your step when you go out for that first play.
Donald Lee, the tight end, is used really as a wide receiver, and here he is on the receiving end. And written out of bounds by Michael Boley, and close again to another first down. Gets 6 yards on the play right near that yellow line. That's not official. And it is a first down. So a first down, Donald Lee. David Martin, the second string tight end, has been inactive the last 2 games with a groin injury. Go up and down the line on this offense. They have some big people out. Javon Walker early, Amon Green, Najee Davenport, Tony Fisher, and of course Walt Williams, who was going to be the third down back today, suffered a hamstring in practice, so he's out. First down on the 46-yard line of the Falcons, and there's the slant, and it's caught by Antonio Chapman. And Chapman with another first down to the 31-yard line, gets 15 yards.
Well, this has been their best play in the passing game. They're getting great releases off the line of scrimmage. He gets Jason Webster to turn his hips to the outside, breaks across to the inside. And the coverage that Atlanta is playing right now, when you make the catch on the slant, there's nobody inside. And boy, Brett Favre, you talk to him, and I think everybody's wanting to know, how much longer does he have? How much gas is left in the tank? He just continues to play at a very high level. And, I still think he can make just about any throw he would need to on that field.
Well, he told us last night he feels very healthy, feels good. Here's Gatto. Helmet goes flying, and Gatto is stopped at the 29 after a pickup of 2. And let's take a look at the Packer injuries. You got to say, is it surprising they're 1-7, losing these people?
Well, yeah, because you're not going to make excuses as a member of the team. And, Mike Sherman, he prepares his team for adversity such as injuries. But, look at that list. That's amazing. That is just a run of bad luck. And it's key guys on your team. Your running backs, they're depleted. You're down to your 5th running back this season. Your starting wide receiver goes out in week 1. It's just it's continued to happen from week to week for the Packers offensive players.
This is a pretty good fantasy football team right there, Bruce.
Intended for a driver and covered by D'Angelo Hall. Packers dressing 13 rookies today.
Well, that's the one thing that will be a positive as they move forward. These young guys have gotten so much experience this season because of the injuries. And they may have found somebody like a Sam Congato, who he was with Kansas City, a month ago. And now all of a sudden, they've got a lot of guys at the running back position that will be up for contracts next year. And that's the one positive that will come out of a situation that the Packers have faced all season long.
Gatto goes to the sidelines. He could be a backup running back next year for the Packers. 3rd down and 8 from the 29-yard line. Pass drilled, and it's caught by Donald Driver, still on his feet. And Donald Driver getting about 7 extra yards. What an exhibition by Driver. and he will get the first down to the 12-yard line. He got 17. I think 7 came after he was hit.
Well, you tell me, does this look like a team that sits at 1-7? Watch the effort by Donald Driver here. I mean, he's wrapped up, guys coming in, trying to hit him low. Look at the balance. That's amazing that he was able to stay on his feet. There he is making those throws again. I mean, I really think that he can still make virtually every throw he needs to on any Sunday afternoon.
6 catches for 75 yards. First down on the 12-yard line. And the pass out in the flat to William Henderson, the fullback. And knocked out of bounds at the 8-yard line, picking up nearly 3, maybe 4 yards. Brian Scott on the play. And Tony, you know, that play by Driver really indicates how much this team is still very much together.
Tell you what, they really are together, and they don't care. You know, Moose made a great point. Even though they're 1-7, you know, talking to the coaches, they're saying, you know, they don't practice like a 1-7 team. Me and Moose have been on teams that have been 1-15. We've said it time and time again. It's your locker room that you really have to watch. And talking to these coaches, the locker room is the strength of this team, and that's something they didn't lose, even being 1-7.
Second down and 6 from the 8-yard line, and the pass thrown over the head of Bubba Franks. And you know, in the red zone in recent years, Bubba Franks has been Brett Favre's favorite target.
Yeah, but you can't press. I mean, we've talked about a lot of positive things on this opening drive. You know, starting with good field position on the kickoff, some great effort plays. You know, Sam Congato again, Donald Driver. But don't give away points. I mean, you were fortunate at the end of the half on the big sack that you didn't give away points. And it happened to him last week in Pittsburgh, and it was really the play that kind of snowballed against him the rest of the afternoon. You've got to come away with points here. Don't do something to lose this opportunity.
3 for 6 on third down conversions, and the Packers need 6, and there's Driver hit at the 5. So they won't get the first down. It'll be 4th down and 3, and a crunching hit by Brian Scott, and the field goal team comes in. Ryan Longwell with his 46-yard field goal at 40 seconds left in the half gave the Packers their 3-point lead.
Well, that's another positive thing, because last week at the end of that game, when Mike Sherman looked at Ryan Longwell to see if he felt he had the ability to make those kicks, he gave him a thumbs down, and you need something positive. We've talked about momentum. Even Ryan Longwell, that kick at the end of the half, good for him.
23-yard chip shot is good, and the Packers extend their lead to 6, 20-14. They have never trailed in this game, just inside 10 minutes remaining in the third.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines with our $39 to $149 internet specials to 60 destinations coast to coast. Purchased by November 21st.
You are now free to move about the country.
The Chevy Red Tag event is here, delivering the #1 selling cars, trucks, and SUVs in America. Most of them tagged with great holiday prices. The price on our tag is the price you pay, not a penny more. Now, get an 06 Cobalt LS Coupe for the Red Tag price of $12,937 after cash back. The Chevy Red Tag event. See red, save green. See your local Chevy dealer today.
Why isn't this thing lighting?
Star Wars is at BK.
What'd I tell you about the blasting?
Get a watch for $1.99 with any value meal. Own the DVD now.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40.
Back to the Georgia Dome, a capacity crowd as the Packers extend their lead to 20-14. Carolina Panthers leading the New York Jets 10-3 in their game. Coming in today, the Falcons and Panthers were tied at 6-2 for first in the NFC South. Tampa Bay leading Washington. That's a great battle going on. Allen Rossum, a yard in the end zone. On the return, gets tripped up. And a good play made by Jeremy Thornburg after the 17-yard return.
We used to laugh a lot, but only because we thought that everything good always would.
Come on, let's go.
Where?
Over there. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry, you know what a skid plate is for? Off-road stabilizer bars? A locking rear differential? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jerry!
Now get an 06 Silverado half-ton extended cab four-wheel drive Z71 for a red tag price starting under $27,300 after cash back. See your local Chevy dealer.
I've been thinking a lot about McDonald's double cheeseburgers lately. The perfect melding of two. 2 juicy burgers, 2 slices of cheese, 2 halves of a bun. It's kind of like me and my girlfriend, you know, the two of us. Except the double cheeseburger only cost me $1 on the dollar menu. I guess that's where the similarities end. I'm cool with that.
1855. Fred Miller brews his best beer yet. It has everything except a name. Then it hits him. Fred Miller's beer. Good call, Fred. Pick up some 1855 lager, our tribute to Fred's first beer.
Buy The Skeleton Key Tuesday on DVD. Once the door opened, there was no turning back.
Right here now.
Experience the film with one of the best twists since The Sixth Sense.
Good night, child.
The Skeleton Key. Buy it Tuesday on DVD.
Hey, we got a new mascot?
There's an easier way to get the gear the pros wear. Call 1-877-NFL-SHOP or log on to NFLShop.com.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Chevrolet and American Revolution.
Back here in Atlanta, Redskins and the Bucks are tied at 21. Packers leading 20-14, and the Falcons have a first down on their 16-yard line. Crumpler going in motion. Vick to throw, and it's Warwick Dunn on the screen, and Dunn with a couple of straight arms gets close to the first down. Very fast and feisty, picks up 7 yards. Let's take a look at really Wayne Wilson and his crew with great research here. All 4 teams in the NFC North have never won on the same weekend since the division started in 2002. Who would want to look that up to find out?
A lot of pressure on the Packers now.
Bears won, Vikings won, Lions won. Second down and 3. Done. First down to the 29-yard line with Grady Jackson making the play. The first time we mentioned him today. He has been a stalwart against the run as Dunn picks up 6 yards on the play. He has carried 11 times for 44 yards.
Well, Grady Jackson's one of those guys that we may not call his name very often making tackles, but if Green Bay is going to have a good day slowing down a running attack, a lot of it's going to have to do with that guy right there, Grady Jackson.
Dwayne Blakely, one of the tight ends in motion, first down, and Vick dancing his way and tackled from behind, fumble, and the Packers have it. Packers have it. Nick Barnett recovers the fumble for the Green Bay Packers, but it was Kenny Peterson, number 98, who knocked the ball loose from Warwick Dunn.
Well, Grady Jackson, he's going to get some push now in the middle. We talked about his success in the running game, but he's the one that kind of flushes Michael Vick initially. But again, some indecision. You know, Michael Vick's got to put the ball away. He's beyond the line of scrimmage again. You know, at some point he's lost that feel of where he is on the field when the play is starting to break down. Look at that ball out in the open like that. Kenny Peterson's right next to him.
You said that early. You said he looked a little bit out of sync, and only in rare moments has he been on rhythm so far today. So a break for the Packers, and Sam Gatto gets the carry and picks up almost 5 yards. Give him 4 on the play with DeMario Williams making the tackle. So that is the second turnover.
They've done a good job. They haven't taken the ball away very often, but when they have been able to cash in with some points. Jim Moore, I don't think it's been a long time since he's remembered Michael Vick playing the way he is this afternoon.
2nd down and 6, and the slant pass is batted up by Darryl Shropshire, and for a game break, here's James Brown.
Hey, Dick, despite 3 turnovers, the Skins tie this ball game up against Tampa Bay. Mark Brunell, little swing pass there out to Mike Sellers. He scores. 2-point conversion pass to Clinton Portis is good. It's all knotted at 21. Back to Dick Stockton.
And a big game for both teams, obviously, JB, and the Redskins can move into a first-place tie with a win, and the Cowboys, if they beat the Eagles tomorrow night, would join them. Meanwhile, it is 3rd down and 6 for Brett Favre and company on the 33 of the Falcons. He's got the protection. The ball is tipped again and nearly intercepted. Andre Thurman was the target for Brett Favre, but the ball was tipped.
Well, there's an opportunity missed by the Green Bay Packers. We showed you the graphic where they have done a good job. The last time they had a turnover earlier today, they took it down, got 7 points off of that. But there it is again, those game-changing plays. This group just really struggled against it. But here's a boost of confidence. He's got Ryan Longwell out for a 51-yarder.
51-yard attempt for Longwell, who's 2 for 2 today. Bad snap. And B.J. Sander, the punter, gets it out to Bubba Franks.
Oh, he might make something out of this.
And Franks doesn't make it. He is stopped short of the first down by about 1.5 yards. So a botched snap from center. And Rod Coleman put the clamps on. And the Falcons will take over. And Mike Sherman not at all pleased with all of that.
This month I will rack up a massive cell phone bill talking about absolutely nothing.
When my parents open next month's cell phone bill, they will cry.
My calls will be monitored like a felon's.
My dad's patience with my cell phone bill will run out at a socially crippling time.
Don't get schooled in wireless. Get GoPhone. Pay as you go with cash or pick your plan with debit or credit. GoPhone comes with everything but a surprise bill.
I will be grounded several times this year, but not because of my GoPhone.
Only from Singular, raising the bar.
Guys, this is a Silverado half-ton crew. It has more horsepower and torque than Ford or Dodge. Paper flowers? Tin cans? I love weddings.
Now get an 06 Silverado half-ton crew cab LS 2-wheel drive for a red tag price starting under $22,700 after cash back. See your local Chevy dealer.
Has America's favorite tough kid gone soft?
I'm not so sure about the bells on the pants. I love my tinklies.
An all-new Simpsons. Then, a daughter's wish causes big problems.
Princeton plans. I only agreed to clothe you, not turn you into a flotation device.
The War at Home. All new episodes start at 8, 7 Central tonight on Fox.
Well, the kicking problems for the Packers rears its ugly head once again. This was not Ryan Longwell's fault, but it's just another in a series of problems the Packers have in the kicking placement department. Falcons take over, first down on the 29-yard line. Roddy White going in motion. Warwick Dunn on the carry, and a good run as Dunn picks up 6 yards on the play. You go back to week 1, and Longwell couldn't get anything going. B.J. Sander was at the fault of this last one because of a poor hold. But Longwell had struggled, which is unusual for him.
Well, I think that's what happens. All of a sudden, you've got a new holder. And I think that we forget that it's not just the kicker. It's the snapper, the holder, and the kicker. The mechanics of all three of those guys. And they have struggled with their holds and the kicker getting into that chemistry. And it's been an issue all year. Ryan Longwell has said at times that, I'm going to put that one on the holder. Last week, he said the miss was on him. But in the past, he has said the holds have not been good. So it continues to be an issue for the Green Bay Packers.
Dunn gets 4 yards and the first down for the Falcons up to the 41-yard line. And you always look for turning points in the game, and you don't really know it when it hits you. all the time, but that miss and the fact that the Falcons are moving could be significant. With 6:36 to go in the third quarter. Here is Vick again on the bootleg, being chased by Carroll, and pass intended for Finneran, and coverage by Al Harris.
Green Bay's really doing a good job of making sure Michael Vick is handing the ball off to Warwick then when it's a run pass, and really protecting him when it has that boot option right there.
Yeah, but on this one, they've got to protect it, but they've got to know their assignments. You know, they're getting caught inside a little bit sometimes. You've got to realize when you've got a plan like that, and you're going to try and implement that plan, you've got to do your job. You can't do too much, especially with a guy like Michael Vick. You can't be out of position with him out free on the perimeter.
That was only the third incompletion thrown by Vick. This time he hands off to Dunn. And Dunn is hit by Robert Thomas after a 2-yard pickoff.
You know, when we talked to Jim Bates yesterday, he was saying that somewhere on the field at some particular time, we were going to spy Michael Vick. Now, I've been looking for that the whole time, Darryl, but I can't really pick out or find the one guy who's doing that, but it seems that they're keeping him in the pocket and really covering him pretty well.
Well, they have done something to him, because I haven't really seen him be this indecisive all season long.
Whatever Jim Bates has come up with as a formula against Michael Vick has worked. He has not been a threat in the running department, and now not a threat in the passing department as Nick Barnett gets the sack for the Packers. Vick has only rushed for 18 yards and 5 carries, and a big sack there, the third.
Nick Barnett, he's just going to come on a kind of a delayed blitz, just a loop right there. They run a little game. They've got Al Harris coming in from the outside, but it doesn't look like Al Harris is, as much as he's bringing pressure as he is, just to occupy that offensive tackle so Nick Barnett can come clean on the blitz.
4th down, and Michael Kanan will be punting to Antonio Chapman. And there's no question, considering they're the #1 running team in the league, Packer defense is the story right now. Low kick. Chapman picks it up on the bounce and goes down at the 24. Lee Torrance on the special teams play. 20-14, Green Bay in front.
Available features like 8-way power heated driver's seat, Bose premium sound system, and remote start with climate control. Introducing the all-new Impala. It's a whole new animal. Chevy Impala, an American revolution.
3 pizzas with whatever I want. If I want olive, I can order olive. If I want mushroom, I can order mushroom. If I want pineapple,
Buy 3 medium 1-topping pizzas for just $5 each. And for $3 more, make 1 a new Steak Fanatic pizza. It's the 5-5-5 deal.
Stealth on 2-disc special edition DVD Tuesday.
Hi there.
Use your Visa card this holiday season and you could be one of 50,000 winners in Visa's $1.5 million holiday giveaway. With a grand prize of $250,000, even the smallest purchase could turn into something big.
Do you gift wrap?
Visa, your card for the holidays.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Chevrolet, an American revolution. By Singular, raising the bar. By new M3 Power from Gillette, feel the power of the world's best shave. And by State Farm, great service, great rates. That's why 40 million drivers trust State Farm.
Brett Favre with 1 touchdown pass. It was a shovel pass to Samkon Gatto, and Michael Vick with a 21-yard toss and run to Warwick Dunn. Speaking of Gatto, going off the right side, and a good gain on 1st down. 8 yards with Keith Brooking making the tackle. Gatto today has gained 60 yards on 14 carries. He had 62 yards, and that was a team high for the Packers last week, so they'll exceed it in this one.
Yeah, he said he felt great Sunday night when he got home. Still had that adrenaline pumping, but I think, what did he say, Thursday afternoon, he finally started to feel better again. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he was pretty sore. That was a long day at the office for Sam Gatto last week.
Longest ever for him in the NFL. 2nd down and 1. And here is Gatto going off the right side. He'll have the first down and go out of bounds. So Sam Gatto out of Nigeria, celebrating his 23rd birthday today. A couple of facts about Gatto. And the great thing is that after every game, he got a call from his father, who was located in some outpost in Nigeria. And he talked to his dad last week, and he said, "Dad, do you know what happened?" He said, "No, I have no idea." He says, "I scored a touchdown." It was 5 a.m. where he was, and he said he had all he could do from not waking everybody up. That's how delighted his dad was.
Yeah, great relationship between father and son in that family, and hard to keep your emotions quiet when you've got a house full of people sleeping at 5 a.m., but he was able to pull it off.
First down pass caught by Donald Driver into Falcon territory to the 41-yard line. Good for 21 yards. Webster on the coverage, and the Packers are moving again.
He just, 15 years in the NFL. I mean, you go figure it. Donald Driver goes to the outside from the slot, comes up the field, breaks back in. That ball is out of Brett Favre's hand before Donald Driver makes his break. Very difficult for any defender to cover this one. I mean, Jason Webster's doing as good a job as he can, but when you can get that ball in that timing situation, the ball out of your hand before the receiver even makes his break, impressive.
8 catches, 99 yards for Donald Driver. They go back to Gatto. Gatto gets by one tackler and picks up about 2 yards. Demario Williams missed him, and as we said, it's birthday time for Sam Gatto, who doesn't want to be called Sam. Sam Khan is his Nigerian name. And of course, wears the number of Christian Okoye, former Kansas City.
Happy birthday to... Come on, Moose, help me out.
We got the idea, Tony.
Hey, the fun thing about talking to this guy yesterday was, he goes, "I can't believe how long the NFL season is. I talked to all my buddies back in college, and they're getting ready to play their last game. It's a shocker when you're a rookie. You don't realize how long the season is."
2nd down and 8, and here's Favre drilling it, and unable to control it is Driver. And right now for a game break, James Brown checks in.
Hey, Dick, thanks for the Sam Khan note. We'll definitely follow that. Take a look here as Mark Brunell hooks up with Liddell Betts, 17 yards to pay dirt. Skins 18 unanswered, out 28-21. Hey, Moose, by the way, did Jimmy Johnson call many of those F-post routes for you, or were you mostly a guy out in the flat?
No, what is that one that Howie likes to call it? The lead joker O? That was Jimmy's call. Not a lot of F-posts.
Meanwhile, the Redskins coming back against Tampa Bay, looking impressive. 3rd down and 8. Favre escapes from Demario Williams and fakes the pass and gets hit hard. Brian Scott makes the hit on Brett Favre, 4 yards to the 35. It'll be 4th down for Green Bay.
He talked about how much.
You guys saw that? He's showing his muscles, baby.
Boy,
but the funny thing is that's when you're 15 years in the NFL, you're this point in your career. I mean, it's hard to get motivated to lift weights. He's been doing a new exercise routine to strengthen his core, and it was built specifically and designed specifically for a situation like that, to be able to spin, rotate, get out of the pocket, to extend a play. that was fun to watch.
He's still having fun though, Moose. It doesn't matter. 1-7, 7-1. That guy will have fun every day he steps on the field.
53-yard field goal by Longwell, and you could almost say his struggles are over, despite the fact that he missed one because of a problem with the holder. Ryan Longwell with a 53-yard field goal, giving the Packers a 9-point advantage.
Nothing outperforms Gillette M3 Power Nitro. Push the button and feel the boost in performance. Gillette's battery-powered motor sends micropulses to the patented Power Glide blades. Get unsurpassed comfort and the world's best shave. M3 Power blows away the competition. You'll be blown away, or Gillette will give you your money back, guaranteed. Try Gillette M3 Power, the world's best shave, or your money back.
Taking a quick break?
I'd like to see those for someone very special.
A gift from Kay Jewelers means every diamond is hand-selected to match beautifully, and she'll absolutely love them.
Chris, how did you know? Every kiss begins with K.
Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
Gio called.
Who's watching the kids?
They're at my mom's.
People
can't get enough of our Jack Daniel's Flat Iron Steak. Now only $10.99. Everyone could use more Fridays.
John Elway is a lonely guy. But when you vote for your Pro Bowl picks on your phone with Sprint service,
no new messages.
You and 3 friends could win a trip to Hawaii for the 2006 Pro Bowl. And keep John company. But hurry, John's waiting. Text PRO to 46635 to vote today or go to NFL.com and check out exclusive NFL content with Sprint. Sprint, yes you can.
Is it them? Is it them?
War of the Worlds is the must-own DVD of the year, starring Tom Cruise in a Steven Spielberg film. War of the Worlds. Buy it on DVD November 22nd.
We had a lot of fun over at the aquarium here in Atlanta. Hasn't opened up yet, but they have these little things called penguin. And this guy looked like he was really hungry. So I was looking around and wondering if they fed him or not. And this other guy was a lazy one. He reminded me of myself laying on the couch there with a remote control. He didn't want to move much, but it's like they wanted to bite my finger there for a second.
The kids are going to have a blast at this place. It's very interactive. I mean, to be able to get inside like that, the design on the penguin exhibit, and then a lot of touch tanks. I mean,
that was the biggest attraction for me, Moose. I think that me and you both enjoyed that touch tank with them live fish. That was cool.
Marvell Underwood with the tackle on Rossum after the 17-yard return. The scoring drive, 7 plays, 41 yards, and tying his season's long was Ryan Longwell, who has kicked 3 out of 4 field goals today, and those 9 points are the margin right now, 23-14.
Almost completed a pass for a first down above the France.
So we'll have to get to the hockey season if you start talking about the Penguins that much. First down at the 17. TJ Duckett has come in the game. He's carried just 3 times, but the play is blown dead, and we have a false start call coming up against the Falcons.
False start, 76 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, a couple plays ago, we were wondering who was the spy guy. Right there, if you look at Brady Papinga, his eyes are right on Michael Vick. He doesn't care if he has a crossing route or anything. He is not going to let him out of the pocket and let him run for the first down. So I think finally we found our spy that we've been talking about all game.
And the question is, can the Packers find TJ Duckett as he powers his way up to the 21-yard line and gets 9 yards. Nick Collins, the free safety, making the play, and in checking back Longwell, even though the 51-yard attempt was no good, actually B.J. Sander turned it into a pass to Frank. So let's give Longwell what he deserves. 3 for 3 in the field goal department. 2nd and 6. In the pocket. Great catch by Crumpler to the 31 and a first down. Algie Crumpler, and they haven't gone to him as much as they normally do, makes the reception there. And a gain of 10 yards. That is his 3rd catch of the day.
Well, unfortunately, you know, he's kind of down on the priority list when you play against this team. You know, Michael Vick gets rolled up a little bit there, but you know, number one, you gotta stop the run, and that's duck it and done. And then you gotta prevent Michael Vick from having one of those game-breaking plays. So there's number 2. Crumpler's down the list a little ways, and you know, they've done a good job there. But you know, their emphasis was on the run, and I think, you know, we're starting to see when teams play against the Falcons, it's done and duck it. And you know, Michael Vick's going to have an opportunity to make a play, but you've got to shut down those 2 running backs.
3 running backs, Moose. You can't forget about Vick, because he's just as deadly as any of them.
And Mark Roman.
Illegal shift
shaken
on the
up.
offense. 2 men were moving. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Moose, what does that mean when teams like Carolina, who still have 2 games against the Falcons, does that limit what this offense can do?
No, I don't think so at all. It's just it's a great position to be in offensively. When you have multiple weapons and multiple threats, it's very difficult for a defense to be able to take everything away, and it's kind of a chess match at the beginning of the game. You're looking for formations and personnel adjustments by the defense. What are they trying to do? What do they think is your most important part of your game? Where's your strength? And you can find those things out, and I think when you play the Falcons, it's stopping Dunn and Duckett in the running game, and obviously Michael Vick is part of that, but you've got to shut those 2 guys down first.
But do they have the passing game to compensate if you do shut those guys down?
Today, no. They don't today. Last week they did, and you made the point out. You know, it's kind of back and forth from week to week, and Last week Michael Vick looked great in the passing game. He's got great numbers today. His rating is high, and yardage is the big thing. Last week he went over 200 yards for the first time all season. So he's efficient, but it's not a game-breaking passing game. But it seems to be there's a formula coming here. Hey, first we're taking away that running game. That's where everything starts. Everything builds off of.
They're putting the 25-second clock back there. Bernie Kukar with a wry smile and a nice thank you for these clock operators. 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. First down, 15 following the Falcon penalty on their 26. Wow. Vick flips it at the last second to Warwick Dunn, and Dunn doesn't get much after that. That was a Houdini move, and Vick, who Jim Morris says likes to get hit, ask him now.
Yeah, I don't understand that comment by Coach Mora, and he's going to take more hits because of his elusiveness and his ability to get out and extend plays. And that is right down on his throwing shoulder.
Colin Cole, and the clock runs out, and a little concerned look on the face of Jim Mora. That's the end of the third. Packers lead the Falcons 23-14. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your...
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Tonight on Fox 6 News at 9, Fox 6 investigators are flagging the food at stadiums. Tomorrow, to stay on hold an hour, press 1. To beat the system, watch 6. Tuesday, see how a simple measurement can gauge your health. Thursday, we'll sample the perfect holiday wines. All this week on Fox 6 News at 9.
The Chevy Red Tag event is here. The price on our tag is the price you pay, not a penny more. Check out the 2006 Chevy Cobalt LS with an EPA estimated 34 highway miles per gallon. Now, qualified lessees can lease an 06 Cobalt LS Coupe for $149 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. The Chevy Red Tag event. See red, save green. See your local Chevy dealer today for the #1 selling cars and trucks in Wisconsin.
Today, we're demonstrating the amazing doubler. Simply place an item in front of the doubler and it makes a double. 1 not enough, 2 are better. Lost a sock? Create a mate. The doubler instantly doubles any item.
Introducing the new Super Cash from the Wisconsin Lottery. Now select prizes can double, and the jackpot has grown to $350,000. And with a new Match 3 prize, there are even more ways to win.
Doubling is fun.
Come on, let's hold it!
Stadium snacks are not always sanitary.
Fox 6 investigators flag the food at Lambeau tonight on Fox 6 News at 9. Ted Perry, Katrina Cravey. Fox 6 News at 9.
You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in HD and presented by DirecTV. Along with Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, Dick Stockton here at the Georgia Dome. We begin the fourth quarter, and the Packers are up by 9. Falcons did not score in the third, and they're looking at second down and 19 from their 22. Nick Barnett with a big game and calls a timeout.
Green Bay couldn't get the right personnel on the field. They had Marviel Underwood coming onto the field very late there, so somebody wasn't paying attention on the sideline during that break.
Falcons with 109 yards rushing and getting Duckett back today. He is 31 yards. Vick with 18, but Dunn with 58 yards on 14 carries. Time of possession is close, and the Packers with a 9-point lead as they start the fourth quarter. Remember, they have not won on the road this season. Their only victory was against the New Orleans Saints, 52-3, and they have put the heat on Michael Vick today. Vick's pass caught by Crumpler, and the burly tight end stopped by Harris, but not before he picks up 13 yards.
That's a good description. Burly. A lot of yards after contact when you got to tackle guys like T.J. Duckett and L.G. Crumpler loose in the secondary.
Yards per play pretty healthy for both teams today, anytime you're over 5. Third down and 6. Out of the shotgun. And the pass thrown to Crumpler, but he's hit immediately by Nick Barnett. Nick Barnett is having a sensational game. 2-yard loss on the play and forcing the Falcons to punt.
Well, we've talked about some of the weapons that this Falcon offense has, and here's two of them. There's Algie and there's Warwick Dunn. As they go out, the Packers, they got 2 defenders right there. They're just waiting for him. And I think Michael Vick lost track of Nick Barnett. He must have got caught in the shuffle in there because he tried to dump it off to Algie Crumpler, and Nick Barnett was waiting right for him.
Michael Kanan will punt, and Antonio Chapman going back deep. Good kick, sending Chapman back inside his 15. And stumbles to the 20. Well, Michael Vick told us that Arizona and the Jets had the best defenses against them coming into last week. I wonder what he's going to say, what Packers have shown against them this week after this game is over.
When we built the new Explorer, we gave it innovations like a more powerful engine that uses less fuel. Then, we set out to break the sound barrier. The 2006 Explorer, the most powerful one yet. As quiet as a luxury car. The best Explorer ever.
And Coolidge gets it on.
DLP picture technology is here. HD TV that's so razor sharp and lifelike, you're there. Be sure your next TV has DLP technology from Texas Instruments. It doesn't get any more real than this.
It's a fact. The more we learn about how to take care of ourselves and our families, the longer and healthier our lives become. That's why more people turn to WebMD than any other health information source. It's a place where people find answers to health questions with an ease never before possible, where doctors discover new and better ways to care for their patients. A place where everyone can finally forge a link between better information and better health. WebMD.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the new 2006 Ford Explorer, the best Explorer ever. By WebMD, better information, better health. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by DLP technology from Texas Instruments, HD TV doesn't get any more real than this.
Crowd still enthused, although the Falcons trail by 9. It'll be a first down at the 20-yard line for Brett Favre and the Packers. Favre swings it out to Mongado. And for a game break, let's check in with James Brown.
Hey, Dick, take a look at Chris Sims capping a 7-play, 70-yard drive to tie the ball game up against the Redskins. That drilled pass to Ike Hilliard, first touchdown reception of the season. And, Dick, since November 03, all tied at 28. And the 4th, back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, huh?
November of 03 for Ike Hilliard catching a touchdown pass?
Well, he was practically ignored. He's been injured when he was with the Giants. So a long time coming for Ike Hilliard. Second down and 14. Gatto going in motion on the empty backfield. The pass is incomplete to Donald Lee. Could not hold on the slant. And that will bring up third down and 14. This game was tied at 14-14 with about 9.5 minutes remaining in the second. And since then, the Packers, on the leg of Ryan Longwell, have outscored the Falcons by 9.
It's one of those opportunities for the Green Bay Packers to take the next step. This would be huge to convert this for a first down, to stay on the field, take some time off the clock, and really kind of force Atlanta's hand. You can't sit back there and run the football at this stage of the game when we've got a lead in the fourth quarter.
And the pass, unable to reach for it, was Andre Thurman and Jason Webster covering on the play. So it's fourth down, and the Falcons will get an opportunity and could get good field position. Falcons were trailing 14-0, came back. Vick to Warwick Dunn, who did a great running job to score from 21 yards out, and then Vick on a bootleg after a great fake up the middle scored the tying touchdown. Here's the punt by B.J. Sanders, and Allen Rossum breaks it. Rossum inside the 30, and a big return. So this could be the break that the Falcons need. 29 yards on the punt return by former Packer Alan Rossum, and the Falcons are in business. And a penalty flag is down. And holding will be the call against Green Bay. That was the preliminary signal from Bernie Kukar.
Holding. 60 of the kicking team. That penalty is declined. First down.
Rob Davis. Joe DeCamillis with the special teams work.
Well, Mike Sherman expressed his concern about his coverage units coming out in the second half, and boy, he was right with this one right here at a critical point in the game. Alan Rossum, who's really struggled coming back for some injuries, comes up with a big play for the Falcons in the fourth quarter.
Okay, Lindsay, this is the last big one before Torino. You can do this. Don't look at them, look at me. Picture yourself alone on the mountain. Imagine yourself on the medal stand. No one can touch you. Try to imagine your Visa check card just got stolen.
I'm good.
Relax. If your Visa check card's lost or stolen, you're not liable for fraudulent charges, and all that money will be put back. Signed with a safe, secure Visa check card.
Sprint Business is reinventing the yes man, turning the yes man into someone who can work from almost anywhere. And now that Sprint and Nextel have come together, you can work in and out of the office more efficiently, the way 96% of the Fortune 1000 already do. So if saying yes from just about anywhere with speed and confidence makes me a yes man, I'm a yes man.
With Sprint Business, you can make just about any place a workplace. Yes, you can.
This guy.
Smoky and spicy and flavor.
What's he doing? Chipotle dance.
Taco Bell's new Chipotle grilled stuffed burrito, loaded with carne asada steak, Chipotle seasoned rice, spicy Southwest Chipotle sauce, and a blend of 3 melted cheeses, all wrapped up and grilled to go. For the perfect balance of flavor and spice, think outside the bun.
This is life. This is Life and Drive.
Alan Rossum's 29-yard punt return, his longest of the season, was injured with a hamstring earlier, has 7 return touchdowns in his career. The former Packer giving the Falcons great position on the 26-yard line. Warwick Dunn with the run, and Dunn getting to the 20-yard line, getting 6 before Colin Cole brings him down.
Well, we have seen the Atlanta defense a couple times during the course of the game come out and make a big stop when Green Bay has taken the momentum. After a turnover, they got great field position one time. Even on that last drive, you know, your special teams pins your opponent back deep. The defense comes on the field, forces a 3 and out. They actually kind of generated the opportunity for this great field position. Green Bay's defense has to do the same thing right now in this possession.
2nd down and 4. Play action. Michael Vick's pass and overthrows Algie Crumpler. Mark Roman was back in the lineup. He was shaken up, as you saw on our graphic, but got back into the game and was covering Crumpler on the play. It'll be 3rd down.
We talked about a critical snap for that Green Bay offense last series on their 3rd down. Here comes a big one for the Falcons here.
Plenty of time, obviously, to go in this 4th quarter. So at worst, if the Falcons can chip away with a field goal, that would help their cause. 3rd down and 4. Here is Vick, and he's determined to run for it. And Michael Vick will get the first down as he goes out of bounds inside the 15. Call it the 14. 6 yards for Michael Vick. Turned on the Jets on that one, Darryl.
Well, you get everybody looking over here. Here's where you're thinking. A power run over to the right side. This is a called quarterback run. He's coming out of there, and he is going. You know, you're just trying to let him use his speed out there on the perimeter to get the first down. But a good formation call because you get everybody focused to the offense's right side with that strong set.
24 yards on 6 carries running for Michael Vick today. First down on the Packer 14. Here's Dunn. And Dunn runs into a brick wall named Cullen Jenkins and picks up only 1.
Well, that was really one of the few times it was a called run and he got out there on the perimeter. But other than that, he's just seemed a little bit out of sync today, a little bit indecisive at times when the play has broken down, and he's put the ball on the ground a couple of times when he's been uncertain. He's kind of lost where he's been on the field. He's been beyond the line of scrimmage trying to ad-lib right there, doing his best imitation of Brett Favre to get rid of that one.
And you got to credit the Packers defense for a lot of that.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 9. And Vick pumps once and knocked away the fullback, Justin Griffith. Well covered that time by Mark Roman. That was textbook coverage.
They've been doing a nice job. When it comes down to a passing situation, they're double coveraging Algie Crumpler, and they're going to make Brian Finneran or one of these other guys beat him. They're not going to let Algie Crumpler make the big play in the passing game.
And you can be sure that a lot of other clubs will be looking at this film after this game when the Falcons come up on their schedule. 3rd down and 9. Still plenty of time. Packers up by 9. And the ball's loose. And it's recovered by McClure. Todd McClure, the center, finally fell on it. And a bobbled snap from center.
Nick Barnett does a great job of seeing an opportunity and just taking it. He comes right up the middle, right here, and just goes and just wraps him up, gets the ball loose. I mean, I don't even know if he was supposed to come on that play, but does a great job of not letting him go so he can recover the ball. Hope one of his other teammates get it, but they hold the ball there, Atlanta.
I don't think it was a clean snap. I don't think Michael Vick ever got it clean from Todd McClure.
37-yard attempt by Todd Peterson. And Peterson's kick line drive variety is good. Just made it in the lower right-hand corner. So Peterson with his first field goal of the game, and the Packers lead is cut to 23-17.
These orders need to get to San Diego on Friday. Any thoughts?
Come on, people. It's 4th and goal with 3 seconds on the clock.
Excuse me, but I think you're being a bit liberal with the football terminology. Just go with FedEx Ground for your everyday shipping. Reliability for less than you think.
FedEx Ground. Reliability for less than you think.
It's the strongest, most innovative full-size pickup, and the only one to earn both government 5-star and IIHS Best Pick Front Crash ratings.
Your son really wants an MP3 player. You want to make sure you get the right one. Circuit City makes it simple. That's because only Circuit City offers a website with thousands of customer reviews that rate the hottest technology, plus expert help in our stores. So now, finding the perfect gift is simpler at Circuit City.
Two moms trade families in a switch with a shocking twist.
My new mom's really hot.
Trading spouses, meet your new mommy. All new at 9, 8 Central, Fox, Wednesday.
Fox NFL Sunday, sponsored by FedEx Express. International shipping made easy.
Right now, the Falcons are only a touchdown and an extra point away from taking the lead in this game with nearly 5 minutes elapsed here in the 4th quarter. Dick Stockton, Darryl Johnston, the Goose, Tony Siragusa, our field analyst down there. Michael Kanan kicking. Rashard Lee is deep. Lee on the 2. And brings it out to the 24.
Interested to see how close Nick Barnett got to taking this ball right out of Michael Vick's hands. It was not a clean snap from center. He gets in there immediately, disrupts that play, almost took it right away from Michael Vick. Todd McClure, all right, now that was on him. You never can get the quarterback or the center to actually admit whose fault it really was, but let's say that's on Todd McClure. He goes and recovers that fumble. That could end up being a huge play, because if Green Bay can get one of their guys on that ball, take 3 points away from the Atlanta Falcons.
First down at the 24 for the Packers. They held the ball for only 1 minute and 4 seconds. First time in the last possession. Not much there by Gatto, and Demario Williams makes the tackle. They're going to need better ball control. They're going to fend off the Falcons in this game. That was a loss of 4. The NFL on Fox next week. Panthers and Bears, a big one. And the Falcons play host to the Buccaneers. Seahawks and the 49ers. Seahawks are winning against the St. Louis Rams today, and that would really strengthen their lead in the NFC West if they were to hold on.
Demario Williams for the Atlanta Falcons defense has had an absolutely huge game this afternoon.
In fact, both Williams and Barnett, 2 linebackers, have been huge. Here's Gatto on the draw. And Samkon Gatto fumbles, but the Packers keep it. So Gatto very nearly lost the opportunity. Andre Thurman was in the right place, right time. 13-yard gain. Keon Carpenter provided the hit. He was a hero last week for the Falcons.
Well, this is why you hustle to the ball, whether offensive or defensive players. Usually we hear about defensive guys, and that's just a helmet right on top of the ball. That's not Samkon Gatto being careless. That was a good hit on the football by an Atlanta Falcon defender. But being there, hustling, getting to the point where the play's breaking down, you give yourself an opportunity to be in position to make a saving play like that.
3rd down and 1. And Favre's pass, and it's caught by Antonio Chapman for the first down. So the Packers were looking at 2 straight 3-and-outs if Favre had not connected. He knows how important that 12-yard pass was, and a first down on the 45.
Oh, this is just vintage Favre. He's looking all the way to the left side, can't find anything over there. Antonio Chapman, another good release inside against D'Angelo Hall. Brett Favre buys a little bit of time, able to come back to the right side.
24 of 37 for Favre, 237 yards. From the 45 of Green Bay, Gatto. And Gatto goes down after a gain of 3. Michael Boley, strong side linebacker, providing the hit on Gatto. Well, if he was exhausted coming into this game, Goose, how do you think he feels now? Because he is the workhorse. That was his 20th carry of the game.
Hey, you got to do whatever you can. When you're a young guy like that, you just got to go in there and tell you whatever the coach says. Hold on to that ball. Don't turn it over, though.
Rashard Lee replaces Gatto, who came out. 2nd down and 7. And here's Lee getting the call. And not much for Lee. Hall makes the pressure, and right now for a game break, here's James Brown.
Hey, Dick, take a look at the game between the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. Britt Bollinger, of course, at the quarterback spot. Throws a pick. Picked off. Carolina comfortably ahead 30-3. They add to it there with that touchdown. And then Washington hand off to Clinton Portis. Portis in the pack, out into the end zone. 35-28, second most points that Washington has scored since the 52 against San Fran. Back to Dick Stockton and Darryl Johnson.
All right, JB, so a big comeback by the Redskins in Carolina, headed for 7-2 in the NFC South. Meanwhile, Brett Favre under siege, fires it up, and the pass is caught by Driver at the 42-yard line, and a first down. Brett Favre was just about down, and he completed it to Driver.
Well, this is one of those situations that when you talk to a defensive coordinator, he'll say that, hey, you know what, we just stay in the game. Brett Favre is going to give us an opportunity at some point to make a pick. But you know what? Sometimes he makes the play. I think we all talk about it from the other perspective. Well, this is one of those situations right there.
Great catch.
Not the best decision by Brett Favre, but you know what? A critical conversion for a first down.
That's the unorthodox style he has exhibited throughout his sensational career. Here is Samkon Gatto on first down, picks up 2 yards. Donald Driver, by the way, with that reception, has gone over the 100-yard mark in receptions for the 3rd time this year. He has 9 catches for 107 yards.
You know, we were talking with Brett Favre yesterday. What I found really funny was he said to us, you know, about staying in the league, I don't want to be one of those guys that just hold on. And watching him here today out on the field, this guy, what he has right here, some of the guys in the league that are at the peak of their career aren't as good as he is today, where he thinks he's not as good as he was before.
Ditto. Second that opinion. Here's Favre's pass, and it's caught by Driver. Tell you one thing, it's been a privilege to report on this guy throughout his career. And some people transcend the NFL. I think Brett Favre is one of those guys because you want the best for them personally. And I think you're not human if you don't feel that way. And that's the way you connect with a guy like Brett Favre.
Well, I don't know who it is, but somebody on the Atlanta Falcons sideline has got this guy all fired up right now. There is some verbal warfare going on. And you know what? He's too dangerous, on his own. Don't do anything to get him mad or more focused on what he's doing.
3rd down and 1. Gatto not going to get there. And it'll be 4th down, and the ball is at the 32-yard line. Now Longwell has come in and kicked a 53-yarder. What is Mike Sherman going to do here? It's a short yardage situation. He's going to go with Longwell. He's had the hot hand today, or we could say hot foot.
Oh, he's earned the right for this opportunity. If he was struggling a little bit this afternoon, maybe this is one of those situations where you would like to go for it on 4th down. But Ryan Longwell has kicked very well today.
51-yarder, and his teammates have really exalted in his great performances. Another one for Ryan Longwell, 51 yards. He is 4 for 4 today, and he is the difference as the Packers have a 9-point lead with 4 minutes remaining in the 4th.
We love pillaging this time of year. But with so many people switching to Capital One, we've had to find new jobs. Some of us are getting pretty desperate.
For low rates and great rewards, switch to Capital One.
What's in your wallet? Boo!
This is life. This is Life and Drive.
Be powerful.
Be focused.
Be committed.
Be daring.
In other words, be extraordinary. E-Trade Financial, with our state-of-the-art platform for long-term investors. At E-Trade Financial, we keep challenging the ordinary to help investors be extraordinary.
Michael Schofield went into prison.
I didn't kill that man, Michael. The evidence says you did. I swear to you, Michael.
To break his brother out.
I'm getting you out of here. It's impossible. Not if you design the place, it isn't.
Now, tomorrow.
I just want to get Lincoln off death row.
The conspiracy is closing in.
They're coming after my family, Michael. No one's going anywhere.
Come on, we're getting out of here.
And freedom is closer than ever.
I want in. We'll have 18 minutes to get over the wall.
If you've ever seen Prison Break, this is the episode you've been waiting for.
Say goodbye to Junior.
Prison Break, a special encore followed by an all-new episode tomorrow on Fox. Viewer discretion advised.
2 points for the Packers. Number one, they used 6 minutes off the clock after using only a minute the first time. So they burned a lot of time here. The second thing is, how important was that kick? It's now a 2-score game with the Packers leading by 9 as opposed to 6. He misses. Falcons get a touchdown and can win the game. So 51-yard field goal by Ryan Longwell, who will be kicking off with 4:01 on the clock. It's a short kick for him and Allen Rossum. And Rossum is brought down at the 20-yard line.
Well, that whole scenario you just played out, Dick, Mike Sherman knows the situation right here. And it hasn't gone the Packers' way. They could be 3-4, 3-5, 4-4 with Ryan Longwell having a better season. But, everybody's starting to weigh in on who's going to be there next year as head coaches and who's not going to be there. And anyone that brings up Mike Sherman's name, I think they're wrong, because Tony mentioned it earlier. They're 1-7. His team practices hard. They play hard. He hasn't lost the locker room. That's the most important thing. Not a lot of guys can do that.
First and 10 at the 19-yard line. The ball's batted up, and I definitely think that that's really a great point, because does the team still play hard at 1-7? They do. And you know what? Very possibly, and maybe even probably, Mike Sherman will still be the head coach.
Yeah, and you look what's ahead of the Atlanta Falcons, what they're going to have to overcome. You mentioned the fact that it's a 2-possession game, and look at their last 4. They've only got 3 points on that last drive. And, I don't know how Green Bay does it. It's been fun to watch them this afternoon. I've been part of a season that's gone the other way, and it is hard to be out on that field every Sunday.
You remember 1-15. Roddy White fumbles it, and it's picked up by the Packers, and it's Barnett. Nick Barnett still on his feet. Barnett charging to the end zone, doesn't make it. But Roddy White, the rookie wide receiver, made the catch and fumbled. Barnett recovers, and you got to wonder whether there'll be a challenge. And if you're Jim Mora, you'd have to challenge it, because that's how critical a play this is.
Roddy White's on the outside, going man-to-man against Ahmad Carroll. Possession established. He's turning upfield to make a play common with the game. So that's a fumble. Really no sense in challenging. It's been that type of day for the Atlanta Falcons. The one thing that Atlanta did good, when you talked about Atlanta getting off to the start that they have, they didn't turn the ball over. They didn't make the mistakes that allowed their opponents to take momentum away from them, to give short fields. The last 2 weeks versus Miami and today versus Green Bay.
Challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch and a fumble.
I say it's a fumble. Roddy White caught the ball, established possession, was turning upfield.
I agree with you, but if I'm Jim Mora, I've got to challenge this. You never know.
Some beers are big on flavor. Some beers are easy to drink. But until now, no beer has offered it all. Budweiser Select starts with hand-picked American and Bavarian hops. Budweiser Select is brewed longer for a bold taste that finishes clean. With Budweiser Select, it all comes together. Expect everything.
Dad. Hey, buddy. Could you read me a story? Football.
That's okay. I can freeze time.
Whoa.
The DirecTV DVR, the most magical thing that ever happened to TV. Finally, an easy-to-use DVR that gives you the power to pause and rewind live TV, so you'll never miss a second of what's important to you.
Somebody up there loves you. DirecTV.
Sign up and get a DirecTV DVR free. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Why isn't this thing lighting?
What'd I tell you about the blasting?
Star Wars is at BK. Get all 6 collectible hologram watches, just $1.99 each with any value meal. Own the DVD now. Own the watches forever.
Jim Mora checking with his people upstairs. Should we go ahead with it? Should we challenge it? And he did. Bernie Kukar will make the decision. And Darrell was right on, and apparently was a fumble.
Well, I hope I was right on.
I'm with you. Want to welcome viewers who have just joined us. Wild game in the. Just take a look at the play again. Dick Stockton, along with Darrell Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Roddy White started a run with it after he caught it. Critical miscue here with the Packers leading by 9 points. They were up 14-0. Falcons came back to tie at 14-14. And the Packers have really never trailed today, coming in with a 1-7 record against the Falcons at home, tied for first in their division.
And they told us, we're not looking at the record. We're not preparing like this is a 1-7 team, but that's easy to say, but it's difficult to do. And I know that Jim Mora and his staff, they have upbeat practices. They're very up-tempo. It's a great atmosphere here in Atlanta, especially on the practice field. But you know what? You're sitting there at 6-2. They're 1-7. It's hard not to let that stuff creep into the back of your mind.
And a 1-7 team, first time in history that had outscored their opponents, more points than their opponents, losing 5 games by single digits.
Well, we had a game one time in Dallas. We were 8-1 playing against the LA Rams at 2-7. They came into Dallas and beat us. And that was in the heyday when things were great. I mean, you just never know. And that was before free agency and the parity that you have today. It's just, any team can be beaten on any given Sunday has never been more truer than it is right now. They're into overtime now in this challenge.
And they're spending a lot of time in there, man.
For what seemed like an obvious fumble.
It really does. It looks like Roddy White catches the ball, establishes possession, and then goes to turn to move upfield. And then Ahmad Carroll just knocks it right out of his grasp. So I thought it was a simple one that was a fumble.
We all agree with you.
Well, I haven't been right on many things this year.
After reviewing the play, the receiver had control of the football. Both feet feet on the ground. The second step was on the ground. The ball came out. Therefore, it's a catch. Fumble. First down, Green Bay. Charge timeout, Atlanta.
You're absolutely right, Dick. I mean, Jim Mora really has no recourse but to challenge that play. I mean, that's really the ball game right there. Good explanation by Bernie Kukar. We'll talk you through it right here. You know, they're going to get down the field. Roddy White will make the catch. 1 foot. Well, he had both feet down. I mean, he made the catch and turned around. I mean, possession was never the question. It was did he turn upfield to make that next play come into the game?
First and goal from the 2. Gatto with his 3rd touchdown of the day. Sam Gatto celebrating his 23rd birthday. May not believe his great fortune getting into the NFL after coming over from Nigeria when he was 9-year-old soccer player. His father a missionary, still maybe a doctor. Right now he's a football player and a winner today with 3 touchdowns. And a lot of his friends coming down from Columbia, South Carolina to cheer him on.
You can't write a story better than what we watched today. You can't. Nobody would believe it. You could hand that script into somebody and they would not believe it.
Throw it back in your face. Not real. Ryan Longwell with the extra point. So Longwell, who was 4 for 4 in the field goal department, adds the extra point, and the Packers really have extended their lead over the Falcons to 33-17 in a very thorough post-game show. The OT coming up next right here on Fox. So Gatto today, 92 yards on 23 rushes, and what a return to Atlanta for Brett Favre, who came in his 2nd NFL game against the Atlanta Falcons back in 1992. And his wife, Deanna, in the crowd.
Yeah, sometimes we forget about what the wives go through, during a season like this. It's hard on the player, but, for anybody who's been through an NFL season, even when things are good, sometimes it's difficult on the spouses. And with her personal problems and the battles that she's facing, and then the situation that her husband finds himself in, it's been a tough run for Deanna too.
We can all be selfish and just say, I hope the guy never retires, really.
I'm going to say it.
Never.
If it's true to what he says, until he feels he can't compete on the field and make all the throws that he wants to, it could be a long time from now.
I'll be upset. I might cry.
Well,
this guy's a guy that he just goes and shows you all the fun that you could have out there.
He does. That's exactly right, Goose. He has a lot of fun, and this was his first game. Deion Sanders nicknamed him Country when he was with the Falcons for that 1 year, and he was traded for a running back who did not make any kind of impact in the National Football League. Ron Wolf knew he wanted him, came to Green Bay, and the rest is history. And today, his 216th consecutive game, the longest ongoing streak and the most ever, of course, by a quarterback. First down, Michael Vick being chased, throwing it up for grabs, and we'll have a intentional grounding call, I would think.
He might have got outside the pocket, but again, he's got Al Harris coming right into his face, and he doesn't see it. I mean, there hasn't been that sense of urgency from Michael Vick all game. He's looking back to his left. He has not been in sync from the get-go.
Intentional grounding. Also loss of down, number 7 of the offense. 2nd down.
I don't know, he was very defensive of what he did last week. He told people, now you saw me play from the pocket, the quarterback position. I don't want to hear it anymore. That's it. I'm not going to answer those questions. Well, he's going to be answering them again tomorrow.
You got to do it more than one game. He did it brilliantly last week against Miami, but that's just got to be the start. And the pass is caught by Brian Finneran out to the 25-yard line. So Gatto, who is the leading rusher, gained more yards than any Packer runner in the season last week in the loss to Pittsburgh, really exploded today. And the pass caught by Warren Gunn going up the middle, and Roman will bring him down. Gatto with 92 yards rushing on the day. And remember, Jim Mora came in with an 11-2 record at home since he's become the head coach. And this is his 2nd loss of the season at home. As Dunn again runs, gets the first down with 2:40 remaining. So 2 of his 3 losses have come this season.
That's a heck of a day for that young guy right there, and hopefully just one of many to come as his career continues. And he got it going real early in the game. Scored the first touchdown right there. Took it all the way down to the 1 before the little shovel pass in for another touchdown. But, you know, you see what he's doing as a running back, but I tell you what's been impressive to me is a guy who's been in and done a very good job in pass protection, and that is the hardest thing. He's only been in the system for 3 weeks. It's going to be very different than what he had in Kansas City. We talked to him about it. You know, that system is based off of a system that I was in. It's kind of user-friendly. This West Coast stuff is very verbose, and the play calling, for him to pick it up as quickly as he did and be in those situations is...
well, he's a smart guy.
Oh, he's a very smart guy.
Oh my God, happy B-Day, Sam.
Oh, no, he's got... I guess it's okay for family.
Yeah, family can do it. You know, remember yesterday we were talking to him, and we were all fascinated with him. He said, you know, my father has not had a chance to see me play. He is going to come to the last game of the season if I'm still here.
Yeah, he keeps it all in perspective.
He'll play a long time with that kind of attitude, I'll tell you.
Absolutely
You're
right.
threatened every day that your job is on the line. You'll play like a madman.
Michael Vick's pass caught by Brian Finneran. And Finneran gets down to the 25-yard line, gain of 21.
Well, unfortunately for everybody that is sleeping in the house that Sam Khan's father is in, when he calls in this evening, I think they're all going to get woken up. There's no way he's going to be able to bite his tongue when his son tells him he had 3 touchdowns in the victory today and was the reason that the Packers won the game.
Yeah, wait, you're right. Wait till he tells his father about today. 2-minute warning. The Packers leading 33-17 over the Falcons.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
You have a prototype, they have a prototype. You have overseas suppliers, they have overseas suppliers. You have low-cost manufacturing, they have low-cost manufacturing. You have packaging, they have packaging. You have an ad agency, they have an ad agency. You have a supply chain that flies through customs, bypasses warehouses, and gets your product on the shelves faster. They have a new ad agency.
The front and rear pillars of the F-150 are insulated with an innovative heat-activated foam to reduce noise, making it as quiet as a luxury vehicle. A luxury vehicle that can tow 9,900 pounds.
Some beers have a full taste, but are too filling. Some beers are easy to drink, but don't satisfy. Then, there's Budweiser Select. Made from only the finest hand-picked American and Bavarian hops. Budweiser Select is brewed longer for a bold taste that finishes clean. Everybody has their something, but Budweiser Select has it all.
Welcome back to the Georgia Dome, where the Green Bay Packers leading 33-17, 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Second down and 10 for the Falcons on the Packer 24. And Kabir Baja-Biamila, who has not had a sack today, but got into the backfield in a hurry.
Offside, 84, unabated towards the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And while we have a moment, we want to thank our people who have helped put on this telecast today. The game being produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The associate director is Charles McDonald. Sideline producer Robert Slosby. The associate producer is Wayne Wilson. The broadcast associate is Corey Brocious. And the technical producer is Bob Mueller. Second down and 5 on the 19. Pressure on Vick. And Vick bounces it at the 5-yard line. The technical producer is Bob Mueller. The pregame show was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The senior producer is Bill Brown. And the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. And we'd like to thank our crew up here, our spotter Chris Visser, statistician Rick Odioso, with Mike Eldridge and Bill Ochepka downstairs in our production truck. Thank you all to an outstanding technical and production crew.
I didn't know we had that many people working with us.
Oh, we got
guys.
more than that. I'm going to name them all, Goose. 3rd down and 5 with 1:53 on the clock. And the pass knocked down, and it was Cullen Jenkins. Well, let's look ahead now for the Green Bay Packers. And if you want to look at the remainder of their schedule, they still have 2 games left against the Chicago Bears, who were the front runners. The Bears now 6-3 on the season. Game against the Detroit Lions, who were victorious today, and Minnesota, a team that upset the Giants on the road, coming up next. Falcons will go against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here at the Georgia Dome next Sunday. 4th down and 5. And a timeout by the Packers.
Green Bay.
Brett Favre can relax. Great job by Favre and his team today. Falcons, as we mentioned, Tampa Bay next week, couple of road games. Carolina will be a tough one. Then New Orleans and Chicago. Now, we did not list the last games of the season for either team. The Packers will finish at home against the Seattle Seahawks on the last Sunday of the season. And the Falcons will close out against Carolina in a big one, presumably here at the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, a lot of work to still be done in this this NFC South division with those 3 teams at the top.
And the North, if Packers go on and win, the lowly North gets 4 victories today. 4th down and 5. And there is the pass to Roddy White, who makes the catch for the touchdown. Roddy White out jumping Ahmad Carroll for the score. And with 1:43 to go, a 19-yard pass, and the Falcons still breathing.
Well, the last time we saw this matchup, it was a fumble by Roddy White that led to the Green Bay touchdown. He makes amends for it right here. Goes up, brings that one down for a touchdown. Now, have we jumped the gun here? We are really, it's a touchdown, 2-point conversion, onside kick, touchdown, 2-point conversion. Right. Minute 43. Possible.
The key being onside kick.
Well, actually, the key being right here.
Right here, the 2-point conversion. 33-23.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Mr. Stockton.
I didn't get ahead of myself.
Sure.
Tony, your favorite play?
2-point conversion is good. Brian Finneran with the 2. And it's 33-25.
That's the first time I think we saw that play, Moose, and it actually paid off.
Jason Horton was in front of Finneran, who outjumped him. So now the onside kick becomes.
Yeah, there's step 1.
This is what it's about.
It's just a jump ball on the outside. Brian Finneran, another big. You got Roddy White, Brian Finneran. Jason Horton's in good position. That's just good concentration. Brian Finneran dropped one like that last week against Miami for a touchdown, almost the identical play. Brings that one in for step 2 of the 4-step procedure that Atlanta is trying to pull off here.
That was a 9-play, 74-yard drive, and they did it in under 2 minutes. And the Falcons still have 2 timeouts remaining. First career touchdown for Roddy White, who had his first start last week against Miami. Well, if you like an onside kick, 2 for 22 is the NFL average for success. Roddy White, well, if you want to know what he drives to the game in, here it is.
Nicest looking taxi cab I've ever seen.
Hey, man. That won't bring any attention to you driving around, I'll tell you. That's very inconspicuous.
You'll never get a speeding ticket driving that car.
There are 2 kickers here.
Which way you going, Tony?
Peterson and Kanan.
Left.
And it's a fake, and Kanan with the kick and it's recovered by Collins. Nick Collins, the free safety, on the recovery. We have time for an update, a game break. Here's James Brown.
Nick, take a look at this. You won't believe it. Tampa Bay on the drive. Chris Sims hooking up with Adele Shepard, a takeoff route to the outside. He takes it in for the score, 35-34. Tampa going for the point after the extra point is blocked by Washington, but Washington was offsides, so Tampa, with 52 seconds left, decides to go for the two-point conversion. Mike Allstott stopped, but Bulls ahead, over for the score, 36-35 with 52 seconds left. Time permitting, we'll take you there. Wow. Dick Stockton, back to you.
What a shootout, and the Redskins looking to tie for first place. Tampa Bay trying to keep pace with Atlanta and Carolina. Meanwhile, the Packers and the Falcons still going at it. Gatto with the run, and a big run, because if the Packers get a first down, even with 2 timeouts remaining for the Falcons, and they're going to use one of them right here, that would really eliminate any chance for the Falcons to pull it out. So a big run of 8 yards by Gatto, and 1:36 on the clock.
What was John Gruden thinking? Boy, if that backfired.
Well, it's the same thing with Kansas City last week, in a way, with
I guess so.
Larry Johnson running instead of accepting a field goal to tie it up, ran for the win and got the win.
Either you're a hero or you're a zero with one play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're on a 2-game skid, you know. Something to change the momentum.
Cheesehead's a little bit anxious. Gatto, by the way, 100 yards rushing today on 24 carries. 2nd down and 2. And here is Gatto. First down for Gatto. And to the 30-yard line.
I mean, seriously, do you think anybody's going to be asleep when that phone call goes to his dad tonight? 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. Everybody will be awake in that house.
How about Mike Sherman? Bringing a 1-17 here into Atlanta. And how about Brett Favre? This is where it all started for him, in Atlanta. And how great he has to feel today. 2-7 can taste good when you win it this way.
They all taste good when you're going through a season like that.
Be good, be good.
And they're going to run out the clock. So the Atlanta Falcons coming in. And losing, it'll be a 6-3 record. They'll fall behind Carolina, beating the Jets to go to 7-2 on the year. And there you see a happy group of Green Bay Packers, in the first time since they've gone to the 4-team division in the NFC North.
That defense that was just huddled up on the sideline there did an outstanding day. Outstanding job today.
Great win today. Nick Barnett, Brett Favre, Ryan Longwell, Sam Gatto go down the list. 33-25, the Packers win, and we'll be back here at the